The story begins and Naoya, who is in for a shock. After years of hard work, one day a girl suddenly proposes to him. Whatever will he do to get out of this dilemma? He's only recently started going out with Saki, his childhood crush, who finally accepted him, and he thinks he's the happiest person on the planet. He's determined to shower her with love and affection, so when she tells him not to cheat on her, even as a joke, he hugs her tight to make sure she can feel his love. She gets mad because of his public and brazen displays of affection while they're still in class. But what can the poor guy do? He just wants to stay true to his feelings. He just can't stop complimenting Saki and wants her to embrace his love. She heads off to her after-school club, and Naoya is waiting for her when he's approached by another girl who confesses her feelings for him. She introduces herself as Minase Nagisa, a first-year student, and pops the question about what he thinks of her looks. He has no trouble answering because she's so pretty, and she gladly accepts the compliment because she claims to have been preparing for this moment for the past 3 months. 4 hours of working out, jogging, and even yoga every day. He's immediately impressed by her hard work, but even more when she reveals a delicious lunch she's prepared for him. She also practiced cooking for 8 hours regularly. He tries the food but is concerned for her health because she has spent so much time working for him that she neglected herself. He eats everything, and once he's finished he admits he's attracted to her, so naturally she asks him to go out with her. An image of Saki suddenly appears in his head. His hesitation makes her feel like she's not enough, so he has to do the hard task of telling her he already has a girlfriend. Nagisa says that's kind of expected, but she's not going to give up just because she got turned down once and will come to confess her love once again. Just as she's about to leave, Naoya can't let her go and grabs her hand as he shares his conflicted feelings about how he wants to treasure his girlfriend forever, but can't let Nagisa go either. Thus, the only reasonable solution he's come up with is to ask Nagisa to go with him to get permission from Saki if he can date both of them at the same time. Saki is in the girls' locker room after her basketball practice when Naoya introduces her to Nagisa. Saki is immediately obsessed because she's so cute and insists that the two spend some time together. They go for karaoke, but Nagisa isn't such a good singer. She also falls and Saki catches a glimpse of her cute underwear. Once Saki eats Nagisa's cooking, she declares she wants to marry her or go out with her. Naoya thinks this is the perfect opportunity and tells Saki he's infatuated with Nagisa too and wants to date both of them and wants her approval. The smile disappears from her face and she gives Naoya a hard punch as she can't believe that Nagisa is okay with this. She explains she doesn't want him to break up with Saki and otherwise she'll just end up being rejected, so she's accepted this because he means everything to her. They try their best to persuade her, but she keeps refusing, resisting the urge to say yes because Nagisa is so cute when she promises to bring snacks every day. Left with no choice, even after offering 30,000 yen each month, Naoya drops to his knees, promising the girls that one day they'll be glad they dated him. Finally, Saki gives in, and the first thing that Naoya plans so they can get to know each other better is for them to immediately move in together, and it's fine because he doesn't live with his parent. Back at his place, Nagisa cooks dinner while Naoya prepares their rooms. Saki declares she's terrible at chores and rests. Nagisa has also thoughtfully prepared the bath for Seki, but soon joins her as they bathe together. Seki can't help but stare at Nagisa, admiring the size of her chest and her flawless skin, when suddenly she notices and tells Saki not to worry about her and that she can sleep with Naoya tonight. She even suggests that they should feel free to do the deed and mustn't hold back because of her. Saki is a little shocked and admits that they haven't done anything like that before. However, she does get a little mad when she notices that Nagisa seems a little happy upon learning that they haven't even kissed yet. She tells Nagisa that they've known each other since childhood, so there's no need to rush, and Nagisa says they should work together on improving these kinds of things. Realization dawns on Saki as she angrily storms out of the bath in her towel to ask Naoya how far he wants to take it with Nagisa. He shamelessly blurts he wants all of them to do it together, but this freaks out the girls. Saki is afraid of the feelings she's developing for Nagisa, but is disappointed when Naoya says he won't be intimate with only her because it'll be unfair for Nagisa. Poor Saki is genuinely troubled by the way her life has taken such a quick turn, but she doesn't think it'll work out between them because there are too many problems. Finally, she's acting like a normal girl, but it's even harder when her rival is so cute and irresistible. She remembers what Naoya said last night about the three of them doing it and calls him a massive pervert. She's hopeful Nagisa might start hating him now. However, she's shocked to discover she doesn't mind anything as long as it's what Naoya wants. Naturally, she feels threatened that Naoya might lose interest in her because Nagisa is so charming and attractive and has a massive rack. They walk out of the bathroom to see Naoya has prepared their futon. The girls are a little surprised to see them all lined up next to each other, and Naoya thinks it's essential for their bonding. Poor Saki is extremely suspicious of what naughty activities Naya and Nagisa might get involved in behind her back, because if she was Naoya she totally would, so she plans on watching them all night long. She pretends to be asleep and hears Nagisa ask Naoya if she can move closer to him. Saki is practically crying at this point when she misunderstands their simple conversation to be something much more perverted. She can't take it anymore and takes off their cheats only to discover that it was not in. Naoya thinks she's acting so strange, and she decides she's also going to sleep inside his foot. The next morning, while Naoya and Saki are still asleep, Nagisa gets up to prepare breakfast. She never thought he would suggest all three of them should date, but she seems to like this relationship. All of her concerns are outweighed by the fact that she gets to date her beloved Naoya and that they live under the same roof and sleep in the same foot. However, she's concerned that it won't last long because if Saki gets fed up with her, she's probably the one who's going to get dumped. Thus, she decides to work hard and make herself indispensable to them. Once she's finished in the kitchen and the others are still asleep, she sees their smartphones and makes the smart decision to go through them. She hopes to find Naoya's naughty search history to see what kind of girls he's into. First, she unlocks Saki's phone and sees that all her recent searches are about how to please her boyfriend in an intimate way. This makes her more uncomfortable, and she decides to take this secret to her grave. Just then, Naoya wakes up and asks her what she's doing, which she truthfully admits. Saki wakes up too and sees her phone in Nagisa's hand. To apparently fix the situation, Naoya takes the blame, saying he went through her browser searches, which is enough to give Saki a heart attack as she suddenly remembers everything she's recently looked up. Well, it only gets worse because now she's furious and tries to cover up by saying she was researching for her friend who kept whining about how she hadn't done it yet. Things only go downhill when Naoya tells her he'll accept her despite all kinds of kinky preferences she may have, and Saki has just about enough of this and punches Naoya so hard he falls. Saki goes back to sleep to try and forget the nightmare she's just experienced. Nagisa apologizes and he assures her that he understands she wanted to take a look because she's worried about him dating two girls. Later, when Saki wakes up, they all have breakfast together, and luckily she seems to have forgotten all about what happened in the morning. She asks Nagisa what class she's in, and when she says class B, they're surprised because they've never seen her before. This makes her admit she's been away from school because she wanted Naoya to like her, so she was working on that. She just didn't have time to go to school. However, seeing Naoya and Saki's reaction as they call her insane greatly worries her because she thinks he's going to think less of her. Thus, she offers more snacks, but he insists they're going to spend all day studying together. They all study math together, but poor Nagisa ends up taking up to 3-hour bathroom breaks because she doesn't understand anything and doesn't want Naoya to think she's stupid. The next day, they're all headed to school together, and Saki says she wants their strange relationship to remain secret, and everyone agrees. Nagisa sits all alone in class, and people wonder who she is because she's missed so much of school. Naoya can't let this happen, and poor Saki is so embarrassed because she's worried about her reputation. He can't stand it anymore, and just as he's about to announce that he's dating Saki and Nagisa both, Saki punches him hard. He tries again, but only to be showered with slaps and kicks as she drags him out of class. Naoya doesn't want Minase to feel sad, but Saki doesn't want everyone to think her boyfriend doesn't care about her. Just then, Nagisa joins them with snacks she prepared for them, and she's so cute that Saki can't resist. Thus, she finally agrees that they can hang out in secret at school. Nagisa thinks she's accidentally made lunch for all of them when they're supposed to act like they don't even know each other at school, much less dating. Nevertheless, all of them sit together on the roof because it's not too crowded, but someone shortly informs them it's not allowed. Thus, they set out in search of a place where they can all have lunch together. After searching for a while, Nagisa suggests a place, but it turns out to be an abandoned restroom that no one visits very often, but Saki can't eat in a place like this. Behind the restroom isn't any better because it's dirty and there are way too many bugs. She takes them to the club building restroom, but they feel bad for how much time she spent in bathrooms all alone. Saki still can't eat in there, and Naoya can't be seen in the girls' room. But two girls do come across Saki pushing him out, wondering what the couple was up to inside. Saki suggests the gym storage room instead, but it turns out to be locked, so Naoya, to be more manly, tries to break it with his fist, but ends up bleeding instead. Thus, they get in using the side window and hide behind some stuff in case anyone walks in and catches them. Naoya admits that though this relationship started because of his selfishness, he's glad he's with her and is ready to face all their problems together. Finally, they start eating, and as usual, Saki loves whatever Minase has prepared for them. Minase can't wait to do this more often, while Saki complains about how dusty it is. Naoya suggests they should clean it up, and Nagisa wants to work harder on preparing their lunches. Over the following days, Naoya and Saki are blessed with various delicacies like omelet rice, cutlet sandwiches, onigiri, and tempura, and they're really happy. Naoya tells her she's already doing too much for them, but she really wants to give her best and even offers to do any kind of work if they need money. Saki seems to like the idea, but Naoya says if it ever comes to that, he'll be willing to participate in sketchy clinic trials or work on a tuna boat. Saki tells him that's enough, but he gets the wrong impression that she feels left out, so he hugs her hard, promising to tell her he loves her every day. Annoyed, she pushes him off and thinks about how much Nagisa loves Naoya and that she's willing to work so hard for him. Poor Saki is under the delusion that she's doing a lot for him, but this makes her realize she hasn't been doing anything, including the chores. She's just afraid that at this rate he's going to love Nagisa more than her. She immediately escapes out the window because she doesn't want to lose to Nagisa. She takes some time time to think about anything she could do to make him happy, but can only think of how to please him physically. When she directly asks him, he ends up asking if she wants cake and brings it for her. He also makes tea for her when she realizes what's going on and decides she has to compete with Nagisa in cooking. She goes shopping and realizes she's only returned with gummies and no actual ingredients. At last, she finally decides to make some curry, but gets so carried away watching videos that 3 hours later it's burnt. But Naoya assures her, saying some burnt curry might not be so bad. Later that night, she's afraid she might be a really bad girlfriend, but she doesn't want to lose to Nagisa, so she does the only thing she can think of at that moment to seduce her boyfriend. She goes to Naoya's room where he's sleeping and climbs on top of him as she puts his hand on her chest, thinking he won't be able to resist. She even says they'll keep it a secret, but he refuses, saying he can't lie to Minase like that. Her shock is real, but she gets insecure, thinking it's because her melons are smaller compared to Nagisa's huge ones. Nagisa wakes up at this exact moment and hears her screaming. Seiki returns home crying. They're neighbors. Minase comes down and thinks if this might be the beginning of her life with Naoya if Saki isn't around anymore. Aren't they living on their own? But her dreams are soon shattered when Naoya says he'll do all he can to make up with her. He stays up all night writing her a love letter. It turns out to be an entire manuscript, but she refuses to read it the next morning. He even offers 100,000 yen worth of gacha pulls in her favorite game and does them all too, but doesn't get a single 5-star. In the evening, he buys her all sorts of cakes, but she still doesn't want to talk. The next day, Naoya goes all over town recording cute videos of cats and dogs, but is unsuccessful once again. 3 days later, Naoya still hasn't slept as he realizes what Saki is insecure about, but she rejects him again. Minase insists Naoya should take a break and feels like she's not enough for him, but he says he can't give up on either one of them. Finally, Minase calls Saki out to her balcony and places Naoya's hand on her chest. Sure enough, Saki is so jealous she jumps right across, and now they can talk. Naoya asks Saki why she left in the first place when she admits it's because Nagisa is better than her. She tries so hard and does everything for him, thus, she feels bad that she can't do anything even after she tries so hard. She hopes that soon enough he'll be happy with just Nagisa. She tries to leave, but he stops her, saying she's perfect the way she is, only to receive a powerful punch. Saki admits that she wants to do something for Naoya too, and it's always been like that. He does everything for her, so she's mad that he won't ask her to do anything. Is this girl happy with anything? Naoya finally says that there's a lot he wishes she would do, but since he's responsible for starting this relationship, so first he wants to do his best for both of them. This time, Minase agrees with Saki, saying there is so much more she wants to do for him, but he always tells her she's doing enough. She wants to devote at least 18 hours a day for him. Even though that's too much, both girls agree that they want to do things for him too, and Saki wants him to love her more. But Naoya had been feeling like he wasn't allowed to be happy until they were, since he's the 1-2 timing, but realizes he's been stupid, so he asks them to hit him. Saki happily complies. Thus he says he wants to see them smile more, eat more of Saki's cooking, and maybe someday even have a threesome. Saki says that's definitely not happening, but most importantly, he wants the three of them to continue living together, so Saki agrees. It's dinner time and Nagisa has worked extra hard on today's meal to celebrate Saki's return. Meanwhile, Naoya is fast asleep because he's exhausted from staying awake for 3 days. Saki makes sure to tell Nagisa that though the food is delicious, they're still rivals. However, Nagisa says she likes Saki and wants to be friends, which makes Saki weak because wants to be friends too and thinks she's adorable. To start on their friendship, Saki shares her interests and says that she likes gaming, so she asks Minase to play with her. It's even better that Minase used to play the exact game that Saki suggested, and turns out she played around 1,000 hours. However, she says she's not good at the game, but Saki doesn't believe her. They start playing and Minase ends up dead no matter what they do. How can someone who played for so long be so bad at something? She gets worried Saki might not like playing with her, but Saki says carrying the team is actually fun. She can show off her skills, and decides they're not going to stop playing until Nagisa gets a kill. Even if they have to stay up all night, they keep playing and Nagisa keeps dying until eventually they find a disconnected player who's AFK. Saki tells her to aim, but Nagisa accidentally ends up killing Saki instead. Saki wonders if it was revenge because she plays better, but Minase insists her hand slipped. Plus, it's a welcome surprise that Minase is clumsy at this because she thought her rival was absolutely perfect. Naoya wakes up and is glad to see them playing together. They add each other and Nagisa decides she'll watch some tutorials on MedTube to improve her gameplay. Saki decides to watch with her and Nagisa opens the channel of some female Matuber with big melons who uses her assets to gain view. Saki says she hates her for being shameless, and Naoya notices their school's uniform in the background of the thumbnail. Saki and Naoya walk to school together the next morning, spend the day, and the three of them have steak lunch together as the girls decide to play when they get back home. During lunch, Nagisa takes out her phone and notices that Mirika the Matuber has changed just the thumbnail of her video, and Sakis talks about how she hates her so much. However, However, unfortunately for them, Saki forgot to lock the window they used to enter and escape the storage room, and another girl crawls through. She suspects them of doing nasty things together, because what would one guy and two girls be doing in a locked room, and asks if they're all in a relationship. Naoya and Nagisa's reaction confirms her suspicions. They didn't even attempt to deceive her, and Seki begs her to keep their secret. Naoya offers her 200,000 yen, his life savings, to keep her mouth shut, but she says she has a lot of money and doesn't need it because she makes way more every month. Naoya, being the gentleman he is concerned and tells her to be careful because her client might be a creepy old man who might record the act and sell it to make her a popular adult star, but he let his imagination run too far. Naoya reveals she's Murika the Matuber and can recognize her despite the mask because she has the same eyes, hair, and gigantic assets. Thus, they strike a deal. She doesn't want her identity revealed, and they want their secret kept. But things take a twist when she decides she wants to be Naoya's girlfriend too, when he promises to keep her secret even if she reveals theirs. Nagisa and Saki see right through Murika and know that she wants a boyfriend because now that her identity as a Matuber is out, she needs someone to protect her from creepy stalkers. Naoya believes her when she says that's not the case. Is he really that gullible? And while he says he finds her really attractive and she would be his dream girlfriend, unfortunately he can't date her. This comes as a shock to Murika, who can't believe he's rejecting her because she thinks she's obviously better than Nagisa and Saki. After all, she's rich, famous, and beautiful. Naoya says his priority is to make his two girlfriends happy. There'd be no end to it if he dated everyone he finds cute. She warns her he'd be an idiot to reject her, and he agrees, but he can't date her. Moreover, she doesn't have feelings for him, so if she's just looking for a boyfriend, she'll find anyone. Left with no option, Murika takes off her blouse and offers Naoya a test squeeze of her G-cups, but he refuses, saying he would rather try it with a girl he likes. She can't believe this, and Nagisa asks what she should make for dinner tonight. Murika understands that they're all living together, and just as they're leaving the storage room, she declares she's going to live with them too to show Naoya just how good she is. However, he refuses, saying he can't condone a man and woman living under the same roof if they aren't in a relationship. She can't understand how he's so proper being a two-timer. She decides she's been humiliated enough for the day and runs away, promising to be back. The next day, as Naoya and Seki return home from school, Nagisa is shocked to see a tent in Naoya's backyard. The tent slowly unzips to reveal their newest outdoor tenant, Murika, who has settled for the yard if she can't live inside. They're worried about how she figured out where they lived, and she simply says she secretly followed them home. She's practically a stalker, and Seki considers calling the cops, but Murika has decided to stay out there until Naoya falls in love with her. Nagisa empathizes with her about how living in a tent is going to be rough, and Naoya agrees, saying the weather is going to be chilly, but Murika tells them not to underestimate her. However, later that night, it starts raining and there are bugs inside the tent, which freaks Murika out and she runs out. Naoya and his girlfriends tell her to stop putting herself at risk, but she's determined. She orders a better sleeping bag and decides she can just kill the bug. Moreover, to make sure she doesn't run out of money, she's going to shoot more videos outside about surviving the cold night in nothing but a t-shirt. It's the cleavage that earns the clicks and helped her climb up from the F-Matuber status. She decides to overcome the cold with exercise and starts working out right there in the yard while recording everything on her phone. She's glad because it's working and she's warmer, and they can't believe she's really going to stay till the morning. However, as soon as she takes a break, she gets cold again, but she can't keep exercising all night. There's a limit to her stamina. However, their faces haunt her, thinking that they are mocking and making fun of her for acting so pathetic, so she decides to continue. She goes at it all night long, and it's finally morning. She's gone viral by this time. The packages she ordered last night arrive, and she's relieved to see her comfortable sleeping bag. Murika expects Naoya to be impressed by her consistent effort, but he tells her to go home and shower because she smells horrible. However, Murika is determined, so she searches for some survival techniques online. She ends up warming some water in a plastic bag for 2 hours under the sun and hanging it up using some rope. Some holes poked in with a fork act like a shower, and she ends up washing herself in the backyard. Naoya comments on how strong she is, and Saki and Nagisa come up with a plan to get rid of her. Later that evening, the girls execute their plan. While Naoya is taking a bath, they enter the bathroom together in their swimsuits, expecting to seduce him. They think that if they're enough to please him, it won't matter if Murika messes with him. Saki and Nagisa expect him to appreciate their figures, but Nagisa accidentally slips and her chest lands in Naoya's face. Saki can't fall behind, and a futile attempt to do the same results in her already skimpy top falling off as she struggles to cover up. up. Looks like their plan to seduce him in their swimsuits failed, but the girls just wanted him to like them more. All they truly wanted was for him to look at them too and not be distracted by her. Naoya understands and agrees as he starts staring at them from head to toe. He really is perverted. Mirika sleeps all alone in the yard. Mirika has completely gotten into the tent life as she's doing a whole barbecue in the backyard. She asks Naoya if he wants some, but he asks her to go home, to which she replies the usual, that she won't leave until he falls in love with her. That's the problem, he can't possibly be a three-timer after already two-timing, but Mirika can't stand his rejection and threatens him with her burning hot coals if he even thinks about moving her tent. Thus they retreat and decide that it's not a good idea to force Mirika out. Instead, they should deal with this issue cautiously and safely. Who knows what someone like her might do if provoked. Just then Mirika leaves the tent, probably to use her outdoor bathroom, when Naoya immediately calls the services to come pick up some unwanted goods. Saiki thinks he's being hasty and snatches his phone. He has the audacity to ask her if she's okay with him dating 3 girls, but both Saki and Nagisa want him to calm down a little. He asks them if they aren't afraid he'll fall in love with Mirika if she sticks around for too long, but Saiki remembers the cold rejection he gave her when she asked to be his girlfriend. Naoya receives another kick from Saki when he tries to retrieve his phone. The girls aren't that worried because they've seen how committed he is to them and have confidence in his loyalty. He appreciates them, but then declares he doesn't trust himself enough to know for sure that he'll never fall in love with Mirika. What an ass. Saiki is furious and tackles him onto the ground, where he admits he's just a weak-willed loser. He likes how hardworking and determined Mirika is, and if she sticks around, he might see more in her. Thus, he wants to get her out of his sight as fast as possible. Saiki hits him once again, but is grateful for the warning as the 3 are now bent on driving her out. Naoya plans to distract Mirika while Saki and Nagisa wait for the pawn shop to pick up her things. He finds her returning home and wants to talk to her, but she just hurries back faster to come up with a plan to make him fall in love with her. He fails and she comes back just in time to see the girls loading her stuff on the pickup and starts fighting to take it off. However, Naoya just grabs onto her from behind. She tries to scream and tell everyone in the neighborhood she's being molested by him, but he still doesn't let go. If he really worried about his reputation, he wouldn't be two-timing. Mirika steps on his foot and falls forward, but he grabs onto her leg, promising to pay for all her stuff. She lies and says it's 1 million yen. It's actually around 200,000, but he says he'll find a part-time job if she promises to stay away from them. Saki and Nagisa also offer to work to help him save up, and the pawn shop truck leaves with her stuff. Naoya gives her a written agreement that she's going to stop bothering Saki and Nagisa because they are going to pay her, but she's so stubborn that he grabs Naoya's arm and says she doesn't care about any of that because she's never leaving. She hates that they're paying her money to leave and go home when suddenly, Mirika's father shows up at Naoya's house. He asks what she's doing here and why she's not at home, where she's actually supposed to be, but she just says she has her reasons for staying at this guy's place. Her father asks her who the guy is and wonders if he's her boyfriend, but Naoya steps in to assure him he's certainly not because he already has 2 girlfriends he cares about deeply. Nagisa and Saiki can clearly see that Mirika has fallen for Naoya despite what she says about hating him and calling him a pathetic loser. Well, that's a fact. And they get really worried because they know how bad the situation is going to be if she actually falls for him. Mirika's father keeps telling her not to fall for a guy like him, and Saki and Nagisa now want her to go home more than ever. Naoya tells her father he has no intention of dating her. He even gets offended at this, asking if his daughter isn't good enough. However, Naoya starts to compliment everything he likes about her and says she's already got 50,000 subscribers on MetTube despite her young age. Her father immediately opens her channel and sees how she's using her attractive body as clickbait, and Mirika is upset because that's why she'd been hiding it. But Naoya just claims her videos show her ingenuity and dedication to her work and nothing else. Her father drags her home, saying she has a lot of explaining to do about her channel and about sleeping somewhere else. Mirika sets herself free, saying she'll do whatever she wants, but he snatches her phone and is about to delete her channel when Naoya takes the phone back from him and hands it to Mirika. He promises to protect Mirika in every situation because deleting her videos that took so much effort is just too much. Saki and Nagisa are losing their mind. But Mirika decides to go home with her father for now, threatening to disown him if he ever tries to delete her channel again. Saki is really worried about everything that's just happened. Why did Naoya have to go all out and protect her? Because Saki recognized the look on her face as she left. She was a girl in love, and it'd be really bad if that giant memory monster became serious about Naoya. Later that night, Nagisa and Seki really wish they could stop Mirika from confessing her true feelings to Naoya because there's no telling what he might do. Saki heads back home to pick up some clothes. She greets her mother and pulls out something to drink from the fridge as she inquires how things are going with Naoya and if she's doing it. How does she tell her mother there's not 2 but 3 of them now? Seki's angry and tells her mom to stop asking such intrusive questions, but she responds by saying they haven't done anything. It shocks her mom that they haven't even kissed. How could he hold back while living with such a cute girl who has such a slim, toned body, soft hair, and the most perfect smile? Seki thinks about all the situations she's been in with him, but he's just too rational. Is she going to spend the rest of her life like this? But her mother assures her that Saki's cuteness can awaken the man within him. Seki returns to Noe's place and asks him if Nagisa's gone to bed while she's still outside the door. He says she has just a little while ago, and she enters the room wearing a seductive bunny outfit, complete with the ears and tail. However, his reaction was not one she was expecting because he's more flustered than being turned on. He reminds her of the promise they made regarding not doing intimate activities alone, but she's desperate now and jumps on top of him. However, her costume starts slipping off her chest, so he holds it back up as a reflex, but apparently, she feels violated, hits him, and jumps off. She calls him a pervert and runs upstairs happily while her mother wonders what costume to order for her next. The next morning, they all have breakfast together and Seki seems to be in a particularly good mood as she even offers to do the dishes, but Nagisa tells her it's okay. Thus, she decides to go for a little stroll, but Nagisa finds her bunny outfit in the laundry basket. She confronts Naoya and asks him how his night with Seki was, but he swears they didn't do anything. She figures he likes cosplay and shortly returns wearing her maid outfit. Naoya thinks she looks absolutely cute and wants her to call him master. Maybe he's taking it a little too far for Saki's liking. Saki is all bubbly and enjoying her walk, while Nagisa keeps calling Naoya master and doing chores for him like bringing him tea and rubbing his shoulder while he does his schoolwork. Naoya asks Minase to be his maid once every week and she asks him to pat her head and he does. Looks like they've really gotten into character. During dinner, this time it's Nagisa who's in quite a pleasant mood and asks Naoya if he'd like seconds, still in character as she calls him master. Seki notices too late and she's shocked. The next day at school, 2 boys check out Hashizaki Egg, a Mirika from Class D, obviously for her perfect curves. While she stands outside Naoya's class convincing herself there's no way she's in love with that 2-timer. Seki finds her lurking outside, and she says she just wants to talk to Naoya. Seki's friends are surprised she knows Hashizaki and Mirika covers Seki's mouth before she accidentally blurts her real name. Mirika pulls Saki to the side and tells her not to use that name as Naoya walks out of class. Mirika refuses to admit to Saki that she has feelings for Naoya, but she's so obvious. Mirika asks Naoya to talk in private and everyone standing around looks at Saki because she's the girlfriend but she doesn't get any say in it. They walk up to the roof and first, he apologizes for being a 2-timer who humiliated her with his rejection. Naoya thinks the best he can do is strip to his underwear and allow her to take photos that she can post on the internet to insult him back. Poor Mirika starts blushing because he's praising how good he thinks she is, and her G cups. He even offers to find her a boyfriend if that's what she really wants. Once he's done with his non-stop banter, she says it's his turn to hear her out. She thanks him for saving her from her father when he was about to delete her MeTube account. That's the end of her speech, however. She says it was pretty important to her because her father always tells her she's not going to have many options if she doesn't study. Thus, she started her own career by streaming. Sure, she uses her melons as a clickbait, and she has a lot of haters, but her channel is finally producing results. She works really hard on her videos and Naoya protected it even though it meant nothing to him, so she really appreciates it. Before he can say anything, Mirika runs away. Looks like she's fallen for the guy. Shino walks into class the next morning asking Saki if she's done her English homework, but she's forgotten so she asks for help. Mirika goes into their class and wishes Naoya a good morning. Saki gets furious asking her what she wants now. All the other guys are already jealous of Naoya because she's talking to him. One of them walks up and asks Naoya what his relationship with Hashizaki is when suddenly she links arms with him and says it's a serious relationship. Saki can't stand him rubbing her chest all against his arm, so she squeezes it so hard that Mirika squirms in pain just to move her away. Saki stands in front of Naoya telling Mirika to stay away from him because she's aware of her ill intentions. Saki clearly tells her there's no room for Mirika in their relationship, which makes Mirika whisper he's already 2-timing with her and Minase. Saki tells Naoya to stick by her side, and he realizes she might be feeling lonely because she's afraid of him 3-timing her and hugs her tight to make her feel more secure. Mirika runs away embarrassed. Naoya is determined not to let Saki leave his side and makes her sit in his lap even when class starts, even though it's super awkward. However, after a full day of embarrassing events, Saiki has PE class next, and they both decide his sticking to her throughout would be too much. Thus, when Mirika decides to borrow him in the meantime, Saiki gets furious, takes Naoya's hand, and runs away with him. She locks themselves inside a classroom, and Mirika demands she should let him have Naoya. Poor Saiki is just really afraid that if Mirika keeps this up, Naoya would fall for her and totally try to get with her. She can't let that happen. Saiki needs to change into her PE clothes and proceeds to unbutton her skirt. Naoya says he can wait outside, but she asks him to stay. They used to take baths together all the time when they were little, so being naked in a confined space isn't something new to them. Moreover, Saiki has sent Mirika an anonymous text message calling her to the roof and threatening to expose her identity as a student at their school. Mirika goes to the roof but doesn't find anyone there. Finally, Saiki gets changed and Naoya tells her she looks cuter than ever before. They return home and Saiki tells Nagisa everything about how they spent their day, and Naoya hugs her throughout. This makes her feel sad because she also wants to be embraced by someone she loves. Just then, Naoya arrives and Saki tells him Nagisa wants him to hug her, but Nagisa doesn't want to make Saki feel jealous or uncomfortable. Saki says she's not that petty, isn't she? Moreover, she doesn't want to lose to a rival who's holding back on purpose. Saki goes to leave the room to them, but Naoya asks her to stay and watch because he doesn't want her to get anxious and do it behind her back. Thus, Saki watches while Naoya keeps hugging Minase. While she can't seem to bear it, she can't look away either or help but feel a little excited. She thinks she's going crazy because there's no way she has such twisted kinks like watching her boyfriend with another girl. However, when Minase accidentally falls down and Naoya bends over her, Saki is tempted to watch what happens if she doesn't stop them. However, the real Saki takes over as she walks up to Naoya and punches him in the face thinking he might kiss Nagisa. The next day, Naoya, Saki, and Mirika walk home from school together, and Mirika is surprised that Saki didn't get a single SSR character in her game even after 100 pulls. However, she's just looking for an excuse to get closer to Naoya as she starts talking to him about his hobbies. Saki and Naoya rush home, and Seki pushes him inside the house faster than Mirika can wave goodbye. However, Mirika's recent behavior has made Naoya suspicious, and he asks the girls if they think she might be into him. The moment Seki and Nagisa had been fearing has arrived as Saki announces a timeout to discuss what to do next with Nagisa. If he finds out for sure that Mirika likes him, the chances of him three-timing them will greatly increase. Thus, it's up to them to stop this from happening at all costs. They return and Seki tells Naoya he's full of himself for thinking that way. She continues to say what happened with her and Nagisa was a total fluke because in reality he's really average. Though he seems to agree with them, he doesn't understand why Mirika is always around him. So Saki comes up with the best excuse she has and says Mirika is in heat. Thus all she feels towards him is lust. They can't believe he's so gullible. He believes that since it happens to Mirika, it must happen to them too. Thus he says he wants to take care of them whenever it does, so they should inform him instead of dealing with an increased libido on their own. The next day when Mirika approaches Naoya asking him to teach her, he first apologizes for thinking she might have a crush on him. She's shocked, so she takes his hand and runs outside the class. Mirika takes Naoya to the roof and Seki follows closely behind. She knows that Mirika is embarrassed because Naoya is seen right through her. She makes Mirika let go of his hand while Minase peeks through the door. Poor Mirika is super upset about how Naoya managed to figure out her true feelings. Thus she asks him why he might think that way, and he says it's because her face is red every time she's around him. Plus, she acts super weird, so he mistakenly gets the impression that she might be into him. He has no idea how right he is. Mirika falls to her knees worried about what she's going to do when she suddenly realizes something and asks Naoya why he said mistakenly. So Naoya apologizes once again, saying he didn't realize it's something that happens to girls sometimes, and Seki was generous enough to educate him. Mirika is furious at this false information, thinking Naoya must be stupid to actually believe all of that. But Saki backs up her claims by telling Naoya Mirika is just embarrassed to admit her condition of being in heat. Naoya asks Mirika why her face is turning red again and is momentarily suspicious of her true feelings before he dismisses it, thinking there's no way she could fall for a two-timer like him. He thinks she'd have to be totally messed up to have a real crush on him. Mirika is flustered and can't think of a way out, so she says she has a cold even though she looks perfectly well. Seki whispers to Naoya that Mirika is embarrassed, so he should try to be more understanding. She'll try her best to reinforce her lie. slide. Thus, Naoya lets it go and says he'll help her find a boyfriend to pay her back for the tent. Mirika asks Naoya how he would feel if she liked him for real, and he says he would be flustered and turn her down because he doesn't want to hurt Saki or Minase. The couple returns to class while Mirika angrily paces on the roof, determined not to give up and make Naoya fall for her. Just as they return to the classroom, Saki breathes a sigh of relief to have that over and done with. When Mirika enters and announces that she likes Naoya, everyone is shocked, and Naoya asks her to repeat herself because he can't believe he heard her right. Saki thinks he's just humiliating her, but Mirika does repeat herself, but she's so embarrassed that she takes his hand and runs out of the classroom once more. Saki, Minase, Naoya, and Mirika all end up in the gym storage room. Mirika says she's not afraid of being embarrassed or confessing, and anyway, she's not asking him to go out with her immediately as she plans to keep hitting on him until he falls for her. Naoya asks Mirika why she likes him even though he's already dating 2 girls, and she admits she finds him attractive. The way he protected her from her father, he says he would do that for anyone, and how he offered to pay 1 million yen for Saki and Nagisa is what she liked most about him. Naoya says he already has his hands full from trying to keep Saki, and Minase happy thus. He apologizes and says he can't date her. Mirika hits him in response, saying her head is full of thoughts about him, and she feels pissed when she sees Saki and Minase having fun with him. She just feels lonely. Mirika is so flustered she kisses Naoya right on the lips. His girlfriends are too stunned to react as she proceeds to leave through the window, hoping he'll have a hard time not thinking about her. Mirika runs away, but their classmate, Shino, who is eavesdropping outside, learns that Seki is being too-timed. After school, Saki, Naoya, and Minase sit on the grass watching the sunset. Both the girls are really sad. After all, their boyfriend was kissed by another girl right in front of their eyes. Saki is even more upset because first, she had to share her boyfriend and then watch someone else be his first kiss. And even though Minase wouldn't dream of going behind Seki's back, she too had fantasized about being his first. Naoya is flustered too and asks if they want to kiss too. Though Seki is mad, she agrees, but Minase doesn't want to kiss just to make up for what happened. Seki pops the question and asks if he was turned on when Mirika kissed him. She's so good at putting him in a spot, but he refuses, saying he was too shocked to even understand what was happening, so the girls rule out this kiss, saying it's worthless if the right feelings are not involved. Seki is determined to make her kiss the most memorable, especially if she's going to compete against Mirika. Naoya apologizes to them for how inconsiderate he's been seeing how much a kiss means to them. He says he truly appreciates, loves, and cherishes them, and in order to get closer, they have to gain experience to learn more about each other. Thus, he decides that going back to basics is probably the best idea and suggests they should all go on a date. Saki decides they're going to the hot springs. They really are the epitome of healing. Minase and Saki are moping around because they can't get the image of Mirika kissing Naoya out of their heads. However, Saki is determined to make their hot springs retreat a success. School is out for the day, and Saki tells Naoya they need to go shopping for their trip. Shino asks Naoya if they can talk later. Looks like she's prepared to give him a piece of her mind. The 3 of them head to the mall and Saki's prepared to give it her best. Let's be honest, things have kind of sucked for her lately, so she's looking forward to getting away. Naoya doesn't quite understand what she means by sucked. The whole kissing Mirika part seems to have slipped his mind, but he apologizes again. Turns out Mirika is following them to see what they're up to this time. Nagisa is in the grocery section, and though Seki said the trip is going to be chill, she thinks it might be a good opportunity to get closer to Naoya as well. They might even have their first kiss together. So to stay on the safe side, she reaches for the breath mints when she notices another hand picking up the packet next to hers. It was Saki. Didn't she say it was going to be chill? Saki drops to her knees and admits that she tried to get ahead because she assumed that Nagisa would stay put just because Saki told her to, while in reality, she was planning to kiss him and revel in her own sense of superiority. Minase appreciates how honest she's being and says she'd forgotten to think about how Seki might feel, and says that Saki should be the one to kiss him first. Saki is still miserable and says it's okay if Nagisa were to get ahead of her because Mirika has already kissed him. However, Minase is determined to support her on the trip, and the girls end up forgetting to buy anything at all. Thus, they go to the clothes section, and Minase ends up picking the weirdest and ugliest outfits. Seki can't understand her choice, but Mina says she's choosing these on purpose to make Seki look better. She doesn't have to go that far. It's Saki's turn next, and she wants to pick something seductive for her that'll make Naoya want her in a more intimate way. However, she ends up picking something really tacky, and Seki makes fun fun of her fashion sense. As they leave the mall, Naoya gets the feeling they're being watched. Mirika finds out they're going on a hot springs trip, so of course she's going with them. Later that night, as Saki packs for her trip, she receives a call from her classmate Shino. She tells her she's going on vacation to the hot springs in Hakone with Naoya, and Shino cuts the call, determined to find out if Saki is really being two-timed. Meanwhile, Mirika can't decide whether to pack her swimsuit or not. The next morning, the girls are all dressed up for the trip and they set off. On the train, Naoya thanks them for continuing this relationship despite what happened with Mirika. They're also surprised to find out that Naoya plans to be more lovey-dovey with them so they can get closer and Mirika will give up. Once they arrive at the station, Naoya says since they don't need to be afraid of being seen, he goes ahead and grabs both their hands at the same time. After all, physical touch is an important part of communication. They decide whatever happens in Hakone stays in Hakone and there's a more pressing issue at hand. Naoya doesn't have any more money left. They take the tram and arrive at their destination, and though the girls are happy, they're embarrassed because everyone is staring at them. They're on their way to the hotel when they see another couple flirting with each other, and Saki admits her intentions of getting closer to Naoya and hoping for a kiss. Naoya asks about what they would do after the kiss, and Saki says she may or may not have thought more about it. The inn they've booked a room at looks expensive, but suddenly Mirika and Shino show up. Saki is in shock that Mirika followed them and that Shino has found out she's being two-timed. Mina said tries to cover up the situation, saying she came here with Mirika and just happened to run into Saki and Naoya. Nagisa threatens Mirika, saying she won't expose her identity, and all four of them run away in pairs, leaving Shino alone and confused. Once they reach their room, Naoya says to Saki that they might have to be honest about their relationship now. He receives a text from Minase saying it would be hard to explain to Shino if she sees the three of them together again, and she needs to keep an eye on Mirika as well, so they should enjoy the trip on their own. Naoya can't let that happen and jumps across the roof to Minase and Mirika's room, where they're enjoying an outdoor bath. Naoya seems to forget that Minase is entirely naked as he convinces her she's important and he wants the three of them to enjoy together. However, she pushes him off and locks herself inside the room, remembering the promise of her support to Saki. Meanwhile, Mirika pulls him into the bath, fully intending to seduce him. Mirika declares her intention of making Naoya fall in love with her. Now that they're finally alone, he's afraid she might show him her breasts or worse, make him touch them. She screams, saying that's for after they start going out, but he just says she was the one who claimed to make him obsessed. Mirika was just planning to show off her cleavage. She asks how he felt about the kiss and is disappointed to find out it didn't work out like she had planned at all. All it did was surprise him. Naoya says he needs to go look for Minase and gets out of the bath, but Mirika says she just wants to talk to know him better and tell him more about herself as well. Thus, Naoya allows her 5 minutes. They both get in the bath and Mirika sets a timer for 5 minutes. She formally introduces herself as Hashizaki Rika and says her favorite thing is herself, while Naoya says he likes bananas. She continues by saying she hates studying for school, haters, and her dad, and Naoya says he hates regrets, so he lives each day to the fullest. Mirika talks about her dreams of growing her webtoon channel, gaining more subscribers, becoming rich and famous, and doing something to leave her mark on this world. And while Naoya hasn't thought much about his future, bringing happiness to Saki and Minase is his dream for now. Mirika admits she admires his honesty and asks if he has any siblings. He says he has a younger sister, but she's kind of a brat, and Mirika says she wishes she had siblings too. She also shares her dream destination is Hawaii, and Naoya says he doesn't like to go to places he has to fly to. The conversation proceeds to their hobbies, and Mirika says most of her time is spent on her videos. Her camping videos seem to be doing well lately. Naoya says he watches a lot of webtoon, her videos in particular. Obviously, this makes her flush. 5 minutes are over, and Mirika stands telling him he can go when suddenly her towel drops and she's completely naked underneath. Naoya quickly exits the scene and is back on the rooftops when he accidentally falls into Shino's outdoor bath, where she too is in nothing but a towel. She can't believe he's her friend's boyfriend. She confronts him and asks if he's actually two-timing Saki. Meanwhile, Mirika can't go back inside the room since Minase locked it. Sky is worried about Naoya since he's not back yet and runs into Minase in the corridor. They can't let Shino see them, so Saki takes her hand to take her to a more private spot. Naoya asks Shino why she cares so much about their relationship, and she says he would do the same and put an end to it if his friend was also being two-timed. He argues that it's a matter of personal freedom, but Shino thinks Saki is a pushover and stupid in these matters. She can totally imagine her saying yes to such a relationship if begged. They argue back and forth as Naoya says he can love them both equally and some things are more fun with two people. However, Shino's arguments are stronger because he can't tell her parents. Polygamous marriage is forbidden by law, along with all sorts of other disadvantages. Most importantly, he can't possibly keep two girlfriends with this economy. He thanks her for the useful information and she demands the truth, but he can't tell her and starts to climb over the wall to make his escape. However, Shino is determined and grabs onto his pants, threatening to scream if he doesn't tell her the truth. Her towel starts slipping, but she doesn't care. She says she has even less stuff than Saki, and threatens to make him regret it if he's doing that to her. It may not be the best time, but he's glad Saki has a friend like Shino, looking out for her. Suddenly, everything goes out of control as Shino's towel falls and Naoya falls down. I don't know how, but she ends up on top of him just as Minase and Saki enter the scene to find her friend naked on her boyfriend as she screams. It's totally in. Shino gets up to tell Saki it's not what she thinks, but Naoya pulls her back down because she was exposing herself. Saki starts crying. First the kiss, and now this. Shino finds out Naoya kissed another girl, and Minase takes a picture of Shino on top of Naoya to threaten her to stop questioning them. Shino has no choice but to run inside, and Saki slaps Naoya, asking what he's doing in the women's baths. Mina says she's headed back to Mirika's room, but Naoya thinks she's acting weird and doesn't want to be around him. Saki asks if this is because of their promise, and Mina says she's the one who came in between their relationship in the first place. So if Saki is tired of it, that's the end of her relationship. It's like a dream for her to be Naoya's girlfriend, so she's been trying her best to hide it. Naoya tries to say something, but he doesn't have pants on, and two more girls enter the bath. So Saki kicks him out along with his pants. Saki and Nagisa get in the bath, and Saki says she feels like Nagisa is holding back way too much. Minase reveals she's always had a way of screwing things up and had to study much harder in class, even just to get an average grade. She wasn't wrong about her reasons being embarrassing. She's tried all sorts of activities to discover what she's good at, but can only get average no matter how hard she works. Thus, she had always been sad about it until the summer entrance exams came and she saw Naoya, the love of her life. That day she had seen Naoya ask Saki to go out with him if they got into high school. What kind of condition is that? He confessed his feelings for her in front of Minase, saying they could strengthen their bond if they overcome the challenge that is the entrance exam together. Saki reacted angrily because she was stressed about the exam and thought his absurd proposal might make her fail. Minase overheard two girls talking about how Naoya proposed to Saki every day since elementary school, even though he's been rejected over and over again. Minase thinks he's crazy but resilient as she sees him supporting Saki even outside the exam hall. She's really amazed at how he's kept this up for years. That's when Minase wished she could talk to Naoya and learn more about him. When the results were put up, she saw that she got into the high school and wondered if Naoya did too, or if they would get to be in the same class. Just then, she saw Naoya hugging Saki and congratulating her for getting in. He looked up at Minase, but she was too frightened and ran away. She realizes she's been thinking about him constantly, but he's already in love with someone else. And with the way they were acting, they might as well already be dating. However, she's determined to make Naoya like her as she starts learning cooking and exercises to get back in shape. She even got a job to buy good ingredients, and no matter what hurdle she faced, Minase persisted. She even worked on her appearance, putting in contacts instead of her thick frames, and she tells Saki that Naoya saved her, so that's why she wants to continue her relationship with him. They go back to their room, and Minase asks Saki not to tell Naoya she's a clumsy failure of a girl, but little does she know he's already eavesdropped on the entire conversation. However, as soon as they leave, Naoya confronts Minase, saying no matter what happened in the past, she shouldn't be holding back like this. The women's baths are right next to the men's. Minase runs away, and Naoya and Saki chase after her. He just wants the three of them to have a good time together. Mirika comes across Shino while looking for Naoya. Shino asks her about her relationship with Naoya, but just then the three of them run past. Thus, it turns into a wild chase with all four of them running after Minase. Naoya tries to convince Minase, but she says she doesn't mind being second to Saki as long as she gets to continue her relationship. Saki, Shino, and Mirika get tired as Naoya continues to chase Minase. They argue back and forth because he can't believe she's okay with being number 2 even when she wants to be number 1 to him. Minase doesn't want to lose the strength that encouraged her to be better for him in the first place. However, Naoya isn't determined to back down either as he grabs hold of Minase, saying he can't leave her on her own. Minase doesn't want to upset Saki and lose her place as his girlfriend, but Naoya says if he hadn't grabbed her hand, he might have regretted it later on. He grabs her in a tight hug, saying he won't let go of her no matter what. She's still afraid Saki might get tired of his two-timing, so he says they'll just grovel and beg her every day until she agrees. Saki, Mirika, and Shino arrive in a cab. Shino sees them hugging and demands to know the truth about their relationship. Minase apologizes to Saki, saying she's going to trust Naoya as she kisses his cheek in front of everyone, much to their horror, and says she's Naoya's girlfriend too. Shino can't believe this and Saki if this is true. Saki asks Minase if she's going to fight her for Naoya for real, and when Minase agrees, Saki tells her to bring it on as she tells Shino that they're all in a relationship together. The three of them run away back to the hot springs, and they spend the rest of the trip having the best time together. They return home from the hot springs trip, and Minase is definitely more clingy towards Naoya. However, they're suddenly called to Shino's place as she demands an explanation. Saki asks why they are at her house and not at school, so Shino explains she didn't want anyone to overhear them. After all, she wouldn't do anything to her friend or damage her reputation. Shino says she's disappointed in Naoya when he tells her the truth and asks Saki why she's putting up with this at all. Saki says Nagisa's cooking is yummy, and Shino thinks she's hopeless. As the three leave for school, Shino asks Naoya if he's sure he can make them both happy, and he says he already decided to tell Saki's mom as soon as they got back. Saki makes sure he doesn't yet, and as Saki's friend, he wants Shino to accept them. Later that day, when they're having lunch in the gym storage, they're interrupted by Mirika, and then Shino, who's shocked to see that Naoya is three-timing. Shino was staring at the investigation board she has made, which has photos of Saki, her best friend, and Naoya, Saki's boyfriend. Apparently, he is also dating Nagisa. As if the board itself wasn't already weird enough, it also has a picture of Rika, his classmate who also wants to be with him. Surprisingly, just like everyone, Shino has also fallen for Naoya, making him the only lovable man in this whole series. However, despite her feelings for Naoya, Shino prioritizes Saki's happiness above her own, and she wants Naoya to be loyal to her friend only. While Shino is staring at Naoya's picture on her phone, she gets a call from Saki. When she attends the call, Saki informs her that Naoya has been running around while sniffing Nagisa's panties, something a lot of you guys do too probably. A while later we see Saki, Naoya, Nagisa, and Shino sitting together. Apparently, Saki tricked Shino into coming to their house so that she could help Nagisa in her studies. Now we go back to yesterday, where Saki, Naoya, and Nagisa start making plans for summer breaks. They get to spend more time with each other. Hence, both girls are excited to spend quality time with Naoya. However, Saki asks Naoya if he is excited for summer break. He tells them he's been doing a part-time job at a convenience store, so he's ready to spend all his savings for summer break. But before summer break, they have to prioritize their exams that will start next week. There is a little problem because if any of them fails in 3 exams, that person has to attend summer classes. Sadly, that person won't be able to go for summer vacation and all their plans will go to waste. Saki is confident as she knows she will pass her exams. It seems their dreams of adventure will not be fulfilled, because it appears that Nagisa has a very bad learning ability and she hasn't studied anything as she was cooking and doing other stuff for Naoya to impress him, and while doing that she didn't think about studying. So basically she is ruining her career for a guy. Naoya said he would help her in studying. But let me tell you, if there's a but coming, it means there is a problem coming. However, after 3 days before exams, Naoya helped Nagisa in her studies, but Naoya's teaching method seems too different and very unhelpful, as his methods are like a puzzle within a puzzle. It appears that Nagisa doesn't seem to understand anything. Saki is smarter than Naoya, so they ask her for help. However, she starts to wonder if Nagisa doesn't come with them. Then she will get more time with Naoya. Apparently, she believes everything is fair in love and war, so she started to teach the wrong knowledge to sweet Nagisa, but Naoya stops her from doing this. Anyway, 2 days before the exams, Nagisa still hadn't improved much as they started to get worried. Saki remembered that Shino was very good at studies, especially in subjects that Nagisa was struggling with. She suggests that Shino's guidance could help them in Nagisa's studies. But it's kind of awkward between them after she found out about her two-timing relationship with Naoya and Nagisa. Naoya tells her they don't have any other choice but to ask for help from Shino. Saki tells him she doesn't know what to tell her when our sweet Nagisa tells them they don't have to worry, she will work hard to study as this will be the first summer she has with Naoya. It appears that Nagisa's answers are as correct as a guess on a multiple choice test. As per Saki points out, Nagisa's answers are wrong. Poor Nagisa starts to cry when Naoya tells Saki they don't have any other option other than to ask for help from Shino. That's when Saki called Shino and tricked her to come to their home. Flashback ends here and we come back to the present, where Saki is making tea and Nagisa, Naoya, and Shino are sitting together. Saki asked Nagisa where she put the tea and she told her. As the saying goes, for every problem, there's a tea solution. However, Shino noticed Nagisa and Saki both were very familiar with Noya's house, so she asked them about it. Saki innocently tells her they have been living in Noya's house for about a month and a half. Shino gets shocked. That's when Saki realizes Shino doesn't know about their living arrangements. Shino gets angry as their whole living arrangement makes her feel uncomfortable, as she already doesn't like their two-timing relationship, but as a cherry on top, they are also living together. Noya tells her that he was the one who came up with this idea for them to get along better. Shino still doesn't like their arrangement. Shino couldn't help but shake her head at the absurdity of their living situation. A boy and 2 girls sharing an apartment while two-timing? It sounded like a recipe for disaster. Shino's cheeks flushed a deep red color as she asked them if they were doing any indecent things. However, they assured her that they were not doing anything like that. Their relationship is quite healthy, and they will never do anything like that. A fantasy for you guys, honestly. Noya tells Shino what's more important right now is that they want Shino to teach Nagisa. Shino gets angry as she doesn't think that is a more important thing in this situation. Therefore, Nagisa requested Shino. Noya also requests her to help them. Shino initially shows no interest in teaching Nagisa, as she is already trying to stop their two-timing relationship. So she won't help the girl she thinks is a threat to her best friend's relationship. Noya then starts requesting her as he says he will do anything in return. He even deleted the picture of Shino and himself on his mobile. I wonder how he got this private photo of her. Shino points out that if he already deleted the picture, then he can't use it to negotiate with her. Isn't he dumb to do that? Noya tells her that it means he has to threaten her, and he couldn't do that to her. I mean, after he says it like this, I think he is a cute dumb. They all again request Shino. At last, she agreed to help Nagisa. Noya is definitely clueless about his charms. It seems he doesn't even realize how his sincerity and cuteness have made Shino's heart melt. A while later, Shino asked Nagisa which subject she didn't understand. And guess what? She is as dumb as sweet she is. It happens that she doesn't understand more or less everything. Shino then takes her notebook and starts examining her work. Apparently, Nagisa has made mistakes, but the good thing is she is good with her basics. Hearing this, Nagisa gets happy and Saki, and Noya start praising Shino. They start to see Shino as their life's savior. It seems like Shino doesn't get happy with their praises as she gets angry and tells them to give their best for their exams. Nagisa gets motivated by listening to this. As for Noya, he takes the responsibility for house chores. All of them get to their work and Shino gives instructions to Nagisa to start studying. Shino is definitely a strict teacher. Even Saki gets scolded by Shino for using her mobile. The next day came, which also happened to be the last day for exam preparations. They all are sitting around a table. As Nagisa is doing her work, Shino appreciates Nagisa for doing good. Saki and Noya also start admiring Shino for her help. As always, Shino scolded them. It appears Shino doesn't like taking compliments. Nagisa also gives a compliment to Shino, but Shino gets angry with her and tells her that she hates her. Poor Nagisa, I think Shino is being too harsh with Nagisa. Shino then tells Nagisa she is helping her just because Saki asked her to. Saki tries to calm Nagisa's nerves by explaining that Shino's explosions of strictness are as common as the sunrise. It's just her way of showing care, which is actually kind of cute. Noya starts praising Shino as he tells her she is an amazing person. His lack of common sense is somehow cute. Although Noya doesn't even know Shino likes him, it occurs that Shino's heart skips a beat after listening to him. With a volcanic eruption of anger, Shino gets angry at Noya as she tells him she doesn't like it when he talks with sincerity and sweetness with everyone. How can he not figure out when he talks this sweetly with girls they will fall for him? Furthermore, the day of the exam comes, and surprisingly, Nagisa passed her exams. Shino gets ranked number 1 as usual. Saki and Noya had also passed their exams. Nagisa and Saki are happy as they will spend their summer enjoying themselves. While Shino reminded them of the promise they had made to give her anything she wanted, Shino makes the request to live with them during the summer break. They all get shocked listening to this. However, Noya asks her why she wants to live with them. Shino replied to him, now that she knew the 3 of them were living together, she couldn't let them be unsupervised. And apparently, she also wants to find evidence to show them this two-timing between them won't work. Noya misunderstands her and thinks that she wants to help their relationship by telling them their mistakes and make them understand each other better. Told you, he is a dumb. Surprisingly, they all seem to be happy to allow Shino to stay with them. Surprisingly, Rika comes at that moment through the window. They all become shocked seeing her there. As she heard their conversation, she gets angry cause they drove her out while she was camping in their yard, and now they are welcoming Shino into their house with happiness. She asks Noya if he loves Shino. He declines this as he explains if Shino observes them, then she'll realize that they are serious in their relationship. And he wants to have the approval of Saki's best friend. Rika gets really pissed at this and tells them she will also live with them. Nevertheless, Noya doesn't allow her. Surprisingly, Rika started running while saying that if she couldn't get into Noya's house, then no one else could. She should stop pretending like anyone cares about her. Rika sets a barrier around Noya's house gate and starts swinging her baseball bat at them. Apparently, she demands them if they want to get inside, they have to let her in too. And if they are fine with Shino, then they should be fine with her too. Why is she so desperate to live with Noya? He is not that handsome, and also he is very dumb. Meanwhile, Saki tells Noya they have to wait till she has to use a bathroom cause she has to go then. But it seems Rika has prepared everything as she pulls out a bag that somehow can be used for the toilet and starts giving them the demonstration of it. But at the last moment she stops as doing that is so gross she didn't want to do it in front of his crush. Look like she still has some senses left in her. Anyway, she tells Noya she loves him and that's why he should let her stay. Noya rejects her by saying because of this he can't let her stay. So she starts to throw tantrums. Her tantrums even made the Hulk look like a calm avenger. She even tells him Shino probably loves Noya. Shino's cheeks get pink as she quickly rejects it by saying Noya is her best friend's boyfriend and that's why she didn't do that. As things were getting out of control, Noya decided to make a call to Rika's little sister, as she is the only one who can stop her. A little disclaimer first, Rika's sister is damn cute. Risa arrives there and gets embarrassed by Rika's situation. Noya explained how he met Risa. A while ago, Rika reached out to Noya and asked him to come to her house, but Noya refused her. Rika then offered him a water bottle and he drank that. He should not drink that, cause it appears that the water had some sleeping drugs in it. Rika literally kidnapped the guy as she took him to her house. Noya woke up in her bedroom and there Rika introduced him to her sister Risa. There, Rika informed him once in the spring he confessed he always wished to have a sibling. Rika tells him since she has a little sister, so if he gets married to her in the future then he can finally have a sister. Doesn't she even have a little bit of self-respect for herself? Even though Risa thinks her sister is dumb, still, she supported her and started pursuing Noya with her cuteness. She starts doing a cute fashion show for him and shows him her different cute outfits. Her cuteness starts to melt Noya's heart. I can't blame him, she actually looks cute in those outfits, especially in that black cute hoodie. Noya tells her she looks cute in every outfit. Hearing this, Risa starts doing a happy dance as her plan is working. She even tells him that she wishes to have a brother like him. She is too adorable. I think she is going to give him a heart attack today with cuteness. Looks like her plan worked as Noya confesses he wishes to have a sister like her. However, Noya still refuses to date her and starts lecturing her about her dirty trick. He asks her, does she want to date someone just because they want a sister? Isn't it a bit too dangerous? She finally understands Noya's points as she says she doesn't want Noya to be like that. In the end, she confessed she was out of line as she shouldn't have done that. Noya at last relaxed as Rika came to her senses. Noya walks away while saying he wishes to have a sister like Risa, as he calls her cute. And again, our idiot Rika thought he called her cute. She definitely lives in a fantasy world. Anyways, let's come back to the present as we get to know Risa is a famous MTuber with 10,000 subscribers. Rika literally scolded her sister for embarrassing her and told her to go home. There, Rika asked Noya how he contacted Risa, as apparently he doesn't have Risa's number. However, Noya tells her they have exchanged contacts through MTuber. It appears that Rika doesn't have his contact, but Risa has. Risa takes her home finally. As they came home, Rika started to beg Risa to give Noya's contact to her. But Risa straight away refused her as she couldn't give her because of his privacy. It appears Risa is not only cute, but also she is very intelligent. A few days later, Rika comes to Noya's house as she shows them the rental agreement, as she rented the apartment next to his house, so she could live close to him. Now she has become a complete stalker. Noya, Saki, and Nagisa couldn't help but worry about the future. In the flashback, we see Shino standing in front of her investigation board as she intensely stares at the picture of Noya. I wonder what she must be thinking about. Back in the present, everyone is excited to enjoy their summer break to the fullest. So finally summer break begins. Rika suggests everyone to open an Instagram account, as everyone would post their vacation pictures. They all seem to prepare the house and make a setup for a photo shoot. As Noya start taking their pictures, let's see what will happen next. It's hard to say, but I'm sure it will be interesting and hilarious to witness. Shino is heading to Noya's house with the determination to stop their two-timing relationship. She thinks that ending their two-timing will be good for Saki, and it will help her to end her feelings for Noya. As she arrived at their entrance, she rang the bell. That's when Saki opened the door with a sleepy face. Saki welcomed Shino while yawning. It looks like Shino disturbed her sleep. A while later, Noya and Nagisa welcome Shino. She starts to fold Saki's mess of clothes on the ground. Apparently, Shino is the organized one in their friendship, so she always picks up Saki's mess. At this, Nagisa points out just how different Shino and Saki's personalities are despite being friends. This leads to a flashback where Shino and Saki first meet. Surprisingly, Saki gets fascinated by Shino's beauty as she thought she was super cute, and yet, her melons are smaller than hers. I wonder why this matters to her. Shockingly, Shino slammed the crap out of her. She has some cool ninja moves. Evidently, Shino thinks Saki is too dangerous to leave unsupervised. A while later, Saki apologized to Shino for her blabbering. Shino then showed off to Saki by showing her scoreboard. Saki's eyes widened in admiration. Seemingly, it shows Shino is the #1 ranked with a perfect score. Shino's skills don't stop here. It appears that Shino is also good at basketball. Saki gets impressed with Shino's skills. Shino tells her with the abilities she has, she doesn't care about melon size. Anyways, Saki asks Shino to be her friend, but she thinks because of their different personalities and goals for the future they won't get the time for each other. So it will be a waste of time. Furthermore, she thinks Saki will get jealous of her in the future and ends up losing interest in her. Doesn't she think too highly of herself? Shino tells her that if they meet in the future when they are adults, maybe they can become friends. Looks like Saki doesn't give up easily. After a while, Saki comes into the classroom. She goes to Shino and tells her to play a game with her. But Shino refused her, hence Saki trying to make her understand they should become friends. While they are both young and cute. And about the jealousy part, Saki told her she wouldn't get jealous of someone who has smaller melons than her. No melon, no opinion. Shino gets irritated by her. Anyways, Saki again offered Shino to play with her. However, Shino smartly tells her she doesn't have a console to play with. She is underestimating her because it seems like Saki already comes with preparations. As she tells her, she bought a new console for Shino with her New Year allowance. I can't decide if she is too kind or too stupid. Shino gets angry with her, while she told Saki if it didn't even occur to her that maybe she doesn't want to play with her. Saki nervously said she was too excited to play games with a pretty girl like Saki. She is the butter queen, she can make anyone agree with her. Shino gets flushed at this and agrees to play. Looks like Saki's plan is accomplished here. Saki then introduced herself to Shino. It seems Shino doesn't even know her name. Hearing Saki's full name Sakisaki, Shino thinks what kind of parents would name their child like that. The one that decides to name their child the sound they say while moaning. Anyways, the flashback ends here. Back to the present, Shino, Nagisa, Noya, and Saki are sitting together at a table. While enjoying tea, Shino informs them that's how they become friends. Saki tells them she gets too excited when it comes to pretty girls. Wish the rest could say the same. Noya states when he met Shino, they had already been friends, so he doesn't figure it out then, but now he understands that Shino has been always looking out for Saki. Seems like behind the tough exterior of Shino's is her heart of gold. Noya apologizes to Shino for making her worry about Saki by doing two-timing dating with her. Shino says he should be sorry. At that, she goes to her room. While getting adjusted to her new room in the house, she thinks about the situation she is in. It appears that she wants the best for Saki, and that perhaps means having Noya stop dating two girls at one time. But the real twist in this situation is that Shino still has feelings for Noya. Furthermore, Shino stares at Noya's picture on her mobile. Apparently, Shino was able to meet Noya because she became friends with Saki. Let's go to the flashback to know how they met. It comes across that after a month Shino met Saki. They were returning from school, when Noya comes out of nowhere and starts confessing his love for Saki. But she pushes him like a bag and starts running with Shino. Shino looks back at him, and her first impression of him was how he determinedly confesses his love to Saki. A boy with straightforward eyes who kept confessing to Saki once a month. But it looks like Saki likes punching him. as she always refuses his love and violently beats the shit out of him every time. Whenever Shino was with Saki, he always appeared like an unwanted guest at a wedding and started saying cute things to Saki. He would never give up. Doesn't he have a self-respect? One time, Shino advised him he should be more creative. Noya then asks her if she is Shino, Saki's friend. No, she is Elizabeth. Anyways, Shino tells him if he wants to go out with someone, there are better ways to do it. He is too clumsy and he should try other things. Maybe try to stop confessing to her for a while. Saki might get curious because he stops doing it all of a sudden. But Noya says he wants to tell her about his love. Shino asks him why he wants to do it. A little disclaimer, prepare yourself for a cute confession. Noya tells her he will be happy if he gets to date her. And because he loves her, he wants to keep telling her about that. Shino's heart melts at this, as she likes his sincerity and straightforwardness. From this point, she started to get interested in him. Shino then apologized to him. Apparently she thought he was a fool. She appreciated him and also advised him to get more creative in his efforts. Suddenly, Shino realizes Saki's birthday is next week. She tells this to Noya and asks what he is going to do. It appears he doesn't have many creative ideas, so Shino decided to help him choose the gift. That's how Shino and Noya met. After some time, Noya and Shino go to the mall to find a present for Saki. Noya shows Shino a different present for Saki, but Shino rejects them. He is as clueless at shopping as I'm in a science exam. Noya notices Shino is very close to Saki, so she told him Saki is too dangerous to be left alone. She cares about Saki. That's why she doesn't want to leave her alone. Shino then points to the store where Saki usually shops. They go to that shop. Noya then requests Shino to wear the clothes for reference. Surprisingly, Shino tries on the clothes, and Noya even gives compliments to her, as she looks cute. Shino then comes to the changing room. She thinks Noya is strange in a lot of ways. Like he is an idiot dumb, but also cute. It seems she likes spending time with him. Suddenly, Noya whispers to Shino that Saki is here. Apparently, Saki is here in the store for shopping. Noya tells Shino that if Saki sees them here, she'll think he is cheating on her. And it will also ruin the surprise. Hence, he has to hide somewhere. Shino pulls Noya into the dressing room. She warns him to not look in her way, as she is wearing see-through tights. But it seems he already got a view when he came inside. He apologized for it. He doesn't have to be too frank. Furthermore, Noya appreciated Shino for her help. She gets embarrassed by his praise and tells him she is not that kind-hearted person. She perhaps is good with studies and sports and other things. However, today was her free day, that's why she helped him. She doesn't like taking compliments, Noya said. She is kind because instead of using her free time for herself, she is using it to help others, and no matter what she thinks, that is kindness. Shino's heart melts at this, although she tells him he shouldn't say this kind of thing to other girls other than Saki. While she is saying these things, guess what Noya is looking at? Perhaps he is looking at the area he is not allowed to look at. Ro is focused on his meal. When she saw where he was looking, she kicked him out of the changing room like a football. Told you, she got some great ninja training. Finally, Saki left the store, and they have done their shopping. As they are walking in the streets, Noya gives her a gift for her help and thanks her. Shino opens the gift. Apparently, it is a bow hair tie. Surprisingly, Shino reveals to Noya that he should stop talking to her from tomorrow, because if they get along well, there are chances that Shino might fall in love with him, and it will bother Noya. Noya is shocked at this. Therefore, Shino states it wouldn't happen, so he doesn't have to worry. Shino then left from there, as she wished him good luck. It seems Shino starts to like Noya, but she knows Saki likes him too. Also, she is her friend, so she doesn't want to hurt her. Shino is a great friend. The flashback ends here. In the present, Shino steps out of her room and finds Noya sleeping on the sofa. She gets a message from Saki. It states that Noya went to sleep, so she and Nagisa went to buy groceries and they all will eat together tonight. Shino stares at Noya while thinking, after all her efforts, she still hasn't been able to give up on Noya. She starts to lean towards his face for a kiss, when suddenly Saki appeared like a ghost. Shino gets shocked. Therefore, Saki asks her, what is she doing? Shino started panicking and said Noya's nose hair was poking out, so she was trying to remove it. That's the lamest excuse I've ever heard. Surprisingly, Saki believes her. Even Shino knows she is dumb. Hence, Saki goes to watch her stream. She is watching Risa's video. Therefore, in the shower, Shino feels guilty about her earlier actions. If Saki hadn't been so dumb, this would have been a big blunder for her, and it would have affected their friendship. She is more determined to stop their two-timing and give up on Noya. She comes out from the shower without clothes. At that time, Noya also comes into the room to wash his face, but he gets a full view of Shino. He quickly turns around and starts calling 911. Apparently, he knows he has made a mistake by seeing Shino like that, so he deserves a punishment. As he is calling the police, Shino quickly takes the blanket and covers herself. Shino tries to stop Noya from calling. They start to fight, and it ends up with Shino and Noya falling over and provocatively landing on each other. Shino's heart starts to get fast, as she thinks if Saki sees them in this position, what will she think? Looks like today is Shino's bad day. Saki arrives in that movement and sees them. Their lives are more unpredictable than the stock market. After some moments, Shino is very embarrassed by the earlier situation. Saki even teases Shino. She starts to hit Noya in frustration as she tells him she will stop their two-timing and leave right away. Looks like Saki is getting suspicious of Shino's behavior. After a while, they all give Shino a welcome party. They have set up a table with different meals for her. Shino can't believe they are giving her a welcome party when she wants to end their two-timing relationship in their house. Noe reveals to her, when Shino says she will live here, they talk about it and decide to welcome her. Because she is important to Saki, that means she is also important to them. That's why they want to get along with her, and they want her to accept their two-timing relationship. Shino informs him she will never accept that. Nagisa gets sad by Shino's reaction and reveals that she's been preparing for this dinner for 3 days. She thought that they could get along better if they had dinner together. Shino couldn't resist Nagisa's innocence as she agrees to eat dinner. She then starts eating food. It seems the food is tasty. Shino likes the food, and seeing that they all get happy. Shino notices that the meat looks expensive. Nagisa informs her that Noya has provided her with ingredients, whereas Noya tells her he spent all her part-time money on this. Never thought this dude could do anything except running on 2 girls at a time. Shino gets angry and tells him to stop being reckless. Nagisa makes Shino try every dish, and she even likes them. She then admired her cooking. She should open her own restaurant at this rate. Nagisa confesses she likes that even though Shino hates her, she still compliments her food. They all seem to agree with her. Shino then tells them that even though this is all delicious, they have a lot of carbs, meat, and oil. Therefore, she starts to cut vegetables and prepare a salad for them. Next time, she should sit outside and eat with the horse. Nagisa shows gratitude to her and now thinks of making these for him. However, Seki reveals Nagisa learned to cook to make him love her. Well, did she think of him like a child who will start to love her because of food? Shino gets angry at her. She asks her when she started liking him. Does she know he was in love with Saki? Surprisingly, she knows about it. Shino gets furious at this. She states that if it doesn't occur to her that because of her selfishness, how much trouble she was causing Saki. Noya comes in between them to support Nagisa. However, Naja confesses that she feels sorry because she doesn't understand that her actions might cause trouble for Saki. Shino says she should then stop this two-timing, but apparently, Nagisa told her she loved Noya. Also, Noya confesses to her that he would never let her go. He is the biggest red flag I have ever known. It seems Nagisa is the biggest idiot here. She says she loves him and she would never break up with Noya. I can't decide who is more toxic here, Nagisa or Noya. Shino acknowledges that even though Nagisa is always a shy person, when the time comes, she can blast like fireworks. Saiki tries to lighten up the mood, but Shino shuts her up. She is so scary, she can even make a ghost scream. Shino announces she hates Nagisa even more now. They all get shocked. She is even more determined now to stop their ridiculous two-timing relationship. Isn't she too obsessed with them? Surprisingly, they are also prepared to prove her wrong. Whose team are you on? Team Shino or Team Nagisa? Rika has gone camping with her little sister, so she can make vlogs. Because she spent all her money on buying the house, she is making new vlogs to make money. Surprisingly, her goal is to make 100 vlogs. Well, best of luck with that. It will be interesting to witness their drama, as I'm pretty sure there will be plenty of tears and laughter. Saki and Shino are sitting in a room. Shino wants Saki to get close to Noya at the fireworks festival, as it will be her chance to get ahead of Nagisa. Saki seems to look shy because surprisingly, she and Noya didn't even kiss each other. And here I thought they had done more than kissing. Shino is stunned to know this. She starts to lecture her that even though Nagisa has come later, she has still kissed him already. And however, being his childhood friend, how can she haven't kissed him yet? I wonder what she has been doing all this time. Even Shino asked her this question. Saiki becomes embarrassed at this. It comes across that Nagisa has also just kissed him on the cheeks. Shino asks her if she has done the other stuff or not. It seems she hasn't done that. Shino looks done with her. Saiki then explains to her that apparently this whole two-timing thing happened between them, and even if they are childhood friends, they can't just kiss all of a sudden. Unexpectedly, Shino takes her hand and pulls her out of the room. Shino looks like a walking matchmaker machine, as she and Saki come in front of Noya and her puppy. Nagisa is a puppy, cause she always seems to follow Noya. Shino out of nowhere caught them off guard. Apparently she tells Saki to kiss him right now. She doesn't have to be so straightforward. Everyone gets shocked, as they didn't expect this. Saiki reminds her why she is doing it now, when she told her to set up a mood at the fireworks festival to get close to him. Saiki states that she can't trust her to do it at the festival when she hasn't done it yet, so she is going to do it now, and hence, because of this hesitant behavior of hers, Noya has started to date Nagisa. She has to set up her game better to win him. All of a sudden, Noya interrupts them as he starts to close the window curtains and switch off the lights. He even lit up a candle. It appears he wants to create a good mood so Saki can kiss him. Saiki looks nervous about kissing him. Noya not so romantically cages her between himself and a wall. He starts to compliment Saki on her looks and even confesses his love to her. When Saiki looks hesitant, he asks her if she doesn't want to kiss him. It's possible that she doesn't want to kiss Yuman. Shino and Nagisa also encourage Saki to kiss him. Saki wants to know why Nagisa is okay with him kissing her. Shouldn't she be jealous of Saki? Apparently, Nagisa says if she comes between them, then their two-timing dating would never work, and one day she also wants to have a proper kiss with Noya. Damn, this guy is lucky, Noya confessed. He has fallen in love with two people. Looks like his heart is bigger than his brain. He even says maybe Saki doesn't believe him, but his feelings have never changed for her. Ever since he fell in love with her, he has never gone back to his feelings. Saki asks him, is he really going to kiss her on this normal occasion? A kiss is just a kiss. You don't organize a whole event for it. Noya states that the occasion doesn't matter. For him, she is always charming and cute. Saki confesses she always wants to kiss him. She starts to get close to him. Looks like the guy is going to get his treat. She is slowly getting close to his face. The atmosphere gets hot, and the moment he anticipated was about to happen. When suddenly, boom, Saki has kicked Noya and he falls on the floor. He was so close to a kiss, and yet he got kicked away like an annoying fly. Shino asks her why she did that. Saki states, now that they succeeded in creating a good mood, then they can definitely do it during the fireworks festival. Shino advises her to do it properly then. In another place, Rika has surprisingly edited her 100 videos. Looks like she is going to join them at the festival. Fast forward to the night of the fireworks festival. All girls are ready to go. Even Rika has joined them. They look pretty and cute, but apparently Rika thinks she is the cutest. I can assure you she isn't. Even Noya looks speechless when he comes out looking at them. He gives compliments to Saki and Nagisa. He even compliments Shino, but as usual, she cuts him out. Whereas Rika comes to get his attention, however, as usually he tells her to stop bothering him. He's ignoring her like I ignore math questions. They all go to the festival together. The festival looks amazing, and they all get excited to see the fireworks show. Noya warns Saki and Nagisa to be careful of getting lost, since there are so many people here. While Saki is in her own fantasy world, because she wants to kiss Noya tonight. Anyways, they go to the food stalls. For every problem, there is a food solution. Saki apparently has skipped her lunch today, so started to eat everything. She is like a vacuum cleaner for food. Therefore, Rika has bought a choco banana for Noya, although Saika takes a bite from it. It appears that Noya doesn't like choco bananas. Unbelievably, Rika thinks Noya's being fussy is cool. Women and their obsession with unstable men. It appears that Nagisa starts to show her talent by putting fish water in a bowl. They think it's an amazing talent. Flash news, they all are idiots. Shino then warns Nagisa to not get too close to Noya and to spare some of his time for Saki. Shino suddenly slips, but it seems Noya comes to her rescue since he holds her. After that, they start to walk around where Noya asks Shino if she wants to eat anything. She rudely refuses him and instructs him to think about Saki's well-being. Nagisa and Saki seem to leave somewhere else, leaving Shino and Noya alone. Shino asked him when he started dating Saki. That's when suddenly a girl came in between them, and he started to date two girls at a time. She even got his first kiss. How can he think that Saki will possibly be okay with all that? Shino seems to be the only one who is mature in them. She then tells him to set a good mood for Saki and make her happy today, and he shouldn't look at other girls other than Saki. Yeah, give him a good lecture. It doesn't seem like he has understood anything since he starts to mention Nagisa. Shino gets frustrated, and it looks like she is tired of hearing Nagisa's name. She warns him to watch fireworks with Saki alone and gets romantic with her. Eventually, it is fireworks showtime, but Saki doesn't seem to be around them. Saki and Nagisa stroll around when they notice Shino and Naoya are not with them. On the other hand, Shino advises Naoya to call Saki. It seems there are no signals, so he couldn't contact her. They start to panic since they can't seem to find them. They start running around. It appears that the fireworks show has no time left. Saki gets worried. She wants them to have a good time, but it can't happen if the girl is not present. She even assumes that Naoya might get another girl while Saki keeps hesitating like this. She actually thinks he is a jerk. She then turns around to find him carrying a little girl on her back. She angrily asks him, what's he doing? He informs that the little girl's Gita cord snapped, and she also got separated from her friend. Apparently, he's helping her in finding her friends. Shino's patience snapped as tells him they didn't have time for this. Hence, Naoya assures her that he will help her in 5 minutes and he can't leave her when she is in trouble. However, she tells him to leave the girl to her and go after Saki. At that moment, Saki falls and drops to the ground. She gets hurt, even her Gita cord snapped. Naoya asks her if she is okay. Is he blind? It's pretty obvious that she's not okay. Yet she assures him to not worry about her and to go find Saki. She is crying. Clearly, Naoya sees her tears and unexpectedly he carries her on her shoulder. He's trying to act like a knight in shining armor. He starts running while carrying them. He may have muscles, but apparently he doesn't seem to have a brain since he was going in the wrong direction. The little girl points in the right direction. He jumps that way and starts running there. Anyways, Shino reminds him that Saki has probably been looking forward to watching fireworks with him. So what's in his mind if he can't find her on time? As usual, he doesn't know. This guy is the human example of the phrase act now, think later. Shino gets furious at him. Nevertheless, he reveals that if he left Shino injured there, Saki would have been mad at him. However, she doesn't believe that. Therefore, he tells her that Saki is a caring person and she is really important to Saki. Besides, he can't just leave her there. I'm sure he is starting to make honey look tasteless because of his sweetness. And again, he shows his foolishness by accidentally touching Shino's butt. His fascination with her is getting serious. Finally, the little girl found her friends. Naoya then takes her there. The girl shows him gratitude and compliments him for his kindness. He says that it's not a problem, but funnily Shino doesn't think that. She thinks because of the girl they waste their time. Naoya now carries Shino on his back like a child. He announces they have to now treat her wound. However, Shino ignores him and she tells him that he is a great man, so she can't understand why he has hurt Saki by doing two-timing dating on her. Naoya stops walking listening to this. She tells him that he started liking Nagisa when she confessed to him. Apparently, if he just rejected her for Saki's sake, then it would have ended there. Naoya reveals at the start he also thought of that because he already had Saki, but apparently he also fell in love with Nagisa. True love is singular, not plural, man, since his feelings wouldn't change even if he doesn't confess them. Meanwhile, he knew if he told Saki that he had fallen in love with Nagisa, he would definitely hurt her. But he doesn't want to lie to her, because if he decided to hide that from her and she found out, then it would eventually hurt her way more than if he honestly told her about it by himself. And not being honest with someone you love would probably be the wrong thing to do. These are some promising words he has said. Shino gets stunned listening to this. She realizes she is also lying to Saki about her feelings for Naoya, and she starts to feel guilty about it. Naoya states that maybe he is being selfish when he has Saki, yet he still falls in love with Nagisa. However, he's the wrong one here. I think this guy's brain is on vacation. He's making some pretty questionable decisions. Although Shino tells him the right thing for him to do was to hide that from Saki and put a stop to his feelings for Nagisa. Afterwards, Shino told him to drop her here. Apparently, the security tent is near, so she will go there and treat her wound. Shino then tells him to go find Saki. It seems like Shino's feelings are getting stronger for Naoya. She deserves someone who would treat her like a queen. A while later, it seems, Naoya is trying to find Nagisa and Saki when Rika suddenly comes in front of him. She's like a ghost, always lurking in the shadows. She informs Noea that she's been preparing herself since morning to meet him today, so he could notice her and like her. She even wants to see a fireworks show with him. She should stop being delusional. She asked Noea if he wants to watch fireworks together even for a minute. She is so clueless. Apparently, she must be invisible, because Noea ignores her and runs right past her side. However, she holds his shirt to stop him. Noea tells her he has to find Seki, and he doesn't want to watch fireworks with her. She then hugs him from behind and reveals that she's been working hard to make vlogs during this summer break, so he should give her some time. Surprisingly, Noea pushes her and starts running while informing her that he doesn't have time for her. Looks like Rika doesn't want to let him go. She even starts running after him and tells Noea she wants to be with him. She is a complete stalker. Noea tells her he loves Saki and Nagisa. That's why he doesn't love her. She should really stop pursuing him now. Reiki thinks he is being too mean to her. However, Noea tells her it's because he wants her to give up on him. Their conversation is like a never-ending loop. It just goes on and on. Unexpectedly, she shoved Noea with all her energy, sending him crashing to the ground. Dan, where did she get this energy? Hence, Rika states that after looking at her properly, if Noea still can't love her, then she will accept it. And if he doesn't have time for her today, then she will back down for Saki and Nagisa's sake. But Rika just wants him to give her a little bit of his time. Why is she so desperate to spend time with him? Surprisingly, Noea tells her he wants to use all his time for his girlfriends. Rika then pulls him by his shirt and demands that he has subscribed to her MetTube channel. It means he is her subscriber. Anyways, she tells him she has recorded vlogs while she was camping. Seemingly, she always thinks about how much fun Noea will have while watching those videos. Apparently, that's why she puts so much effort and hard work into the video editing. Even she thinks after watching those videos, Noea would like to go camping with her. She should stop making a fool of herself. She even offers him to bring Nagisa and Saki with him for the camping. Surprisingly, Noea admits that he doesn't watch her videos. She puts in so much hard work, yet sadly he's not even watching it. Seemingly, Noea had stopped watching her videos after her confession. I feel really bad for her. Reiki's heart breaks as she begins to cry. She asks him if he thinks her videos are not interesting anymore. She shouldn't have to doubt her hard work because of him. Rika desperately tells him she will put more effort into making her videos more interesting for him. However, Noea tells her it's not that, and her work is good. She then asks him if he hates her. Though Noea admits that he still respects her, the thing is he can't fall in love with her. She is surprised at this. Noea asks for her forgiveness as he leaves from there. Rika, being a delusional person, starts to assume that maybe Noea likes her. In the background, fireworks started. Meanwhile, Nagisa and Saki seem to be together. Hence, Nagisa informed her that apparently, fireworks will go on for about 30 minutes. And if they split up, there are chances they can find Noea on time. Saki seems to like her plan. She agrees with her and tells her she is going in another direction to find him. Well, they decided to meet up at the park in 20 minutes. Suddenly, Nagisa stops Saki and looks nervous as Nagisa reveals she has a proposal for her. What kind of a proposal is she talking about? On the other side, Rika seems to celebrate her delusional happiness. I also want to be as delusional as she is. Noea seems to be searching for Saki and Nagisa. As he promised to watch the fireworks with them, he starts running to find them. Apparently, he thinks this is his chance to make new memories with them, so he doesn't want to miss this chance for anyone. Eventually, Noea sees Nagisa in front of him. It seems she is looking for someone as she is looking here and there. Noea calls her name, and at that moment she turns around and sees him. They both look very happy to find each other. They are acting like they haven't seen each other for a long time. Surprisingly, their lovely reunion gets interrupted by a girl. However, both look horrified to see her. Who is she anyway? It appears she is Saki's friend. But then why are they acting strange? It's because it seems that the girl is Saki's classmate, and apparently they don't know about their two-timing dating situation, and even in the future they don't want them to know. So Noea and Nagisa start panicking at this. Furthermore, the girl calls them, but it looks like they don't want to meet her. Hence, Nagisa goes to a cotton candy store while acting like she doesn't hear the girl calling her name. Her acting skills are worse than mine, seriously. Noea thinks Nagisa looks cute at that moment. His brain waves must have crossed with an alien signal. Anyways, Nagisa flies away by saying she is craving for cotton candy at the park. Meanwhile, Noea also made an excuse and fled from there. After a while, they both seem to be standing in a quiet place. They realize that students from their school could have been at the festival. Surprisingly, they both look relieved to finally escape the girl. It seems like they've seen a ghost. Furthermore, Nagisa reminds Noya that they should hurry, otherwise fireworks will be over. He then notifies her that they have to find Saki. However, Nagisa knows where Saki is, so she tells him about it. It appears Nagisa looks hesitant to reveal to him that they have promised each other. Whoever meets him first will be able to spend alone time with him. This is ridiculous. He is not a puppet. Nagisa confesses she wishes to watch fireworks with him so that they make new memories. Looks like Nagisa is not as innocent as she looks. She apparently proposes that they should get close to each other when there is no one here besides them. Noya seems excited since they both decide to watch the fireworks together. Meanwhile, Rika appears to be enjoying her food. She even seems to forget about Noya. First we eat, then we do everything else. A few moments later, Noya and Nagisa are all alone in a nice quiet spot under the fireworks. When Nagisa unexpectedly held Noya's hand, this girl has some unholy intentions up her sleeves. Even Noya is surprised by her behavior. They begin to watch the fireworks together. Nagisa looks shy being with him. As the couple are romantically staring at the fireworks, he gets the hint that she is trying way too hard to impress him, so it would be rude for him to not show affection towards her. Hence, out of nowhere, Noya holds her hand, which leaves her shocked for no reason at all. It takes some time for both of them to get a hold of themselves. However, his excitement drew her in. As she puts her head in his lap, that's when he gets more excited and lifts her in his arms like a bride. Both look awkward because of nervousness. Nonetheless, Nagisa confesses her feelings that it makes her happy to be with him. Therefore, Noya suddenly stands and apologizes to her about earlier, as he hides their relationship from people around them. I'm starting to think he needs a warning to stop talking this sweetly. He even goes down on his knees for an apology. Although Nagisa assures him he doesn't have to apologize because the happiness of dating him is bigger than the sadness because they have to hide it from others. Still, he says it must be hard for her to be with him. Apparently, Nagisa goes towards him and says, indeed, the relationship is complicated and they probably have to face a lot of problems in the future. But if she gets to stay together with him for the next year or even further, and still, if he cares for her, then she thinks it's all worth it to endure. She is sweeter than a sugar factory. However, she reveals that, of course, it's not like she never thinks about wanting to monopolize him. But the Noya she fell in love with is the Noya who's in love with Saki. Let's give her a round of applause for saying the most foolish thing. Meanwhile, at that moment Saki arrives there. Looks like their romantic date has come to an end. As Nagisa takes her leave, apparently they have decided to take turns to spend time with him. Seems like Nagisa thinks the stuff they did was embarrassing, so she doesn't want anyone to know what's happened in between them. So she tells him to keep it a secret. She then walks out from there, leaving Noya alone with Saki. Seemingly, Saki questions him about what they did together. Though he states that he can't tell her, Saki gets suspicious of them. In the meantime, Nagisa is happy to spend time with him. Saki asks him, is he really not going to tell her what they did? Therefore, he reveals that it was embarrassing for her, and that's why he couldn't tell her. Saki gets shocked knowing this, and gets angry at him for not telling her. Moreover, he tries to divert her attention. He announces that they have to see fireworks together and get in a good mood, and then they should kiss to make their happy memories. He sounds too enthusiastic for his treat. Surprisingly, Saki punched him in the jaw. She beats him like he is her personal punching bag. Anyways, she angrily lets out that she can't be in a good mood since she feels uneasy. Poor Noya informs her that the fireworks will be over soon. And back there, they couldn't kiss because of the good mood. So if they let this chance go by, then he feels that they will never kiss each other. He looks like someone has refused to give him his puppy. He sounds too sad as he says that he doesn't want her to wait any longer. Furthermore, he questions her. Does she not want to kiss him anymore? However, she looks ready to kill him today. She let him know that she wants to do it, but she suddenly gets shy. Her mood swings are changing faster than the weather. In the end, she states she doesn't care what Nagisa and he did. However, she'll do what she has to do. Looks like Saki is getting anxious because of Nagisa and his closeness. She then goes and sits on the bench. Apparently, she calls him to sit with her and watch the fireworks together. He eagerly goes to her side. Furthermore, she tries to calm herself. That's when she starts to take deep breaths, and in that moment she smells Nagisa's scent. So suddenly she grabs him by his shirt and tells him that he has Nagisa's scent on him. But guess what she found next? It appears she even gets a hint of Shino's scent, and also she noticed the scent of another girl that she didn't even know. I'm pretty sure her nose has its own GPS system. He gets surprised and asks her how she knows this. However, Saki tells him that, of course, she recognizes the scent of beautiful girls. Looks like she suddenly realizes something, as apparently she questioned him, what did he do with so many girls while they were separated? However, she assures her that he didn't do anything indecent. Whereas he tells her apparently things happened, that's how he had to stick his body close to the girls. But nothing happened between them, hence he tells her to watch fireworks with him, possibly so she can calm down. Well, she hesitantly tells him that she believes him since he never lies. It doesn't seem like she completely believes him. The atmosphere around them starts to look peaceful. It appears that she confesses it's their first summer fireworks they have been watching together since they started dating. They seem to enjoy watching fireworks. Therefore, they spent a lot of summer together ever since they were kids. But unlike back then, they are lovers now. The aura around them begins to get romantic as she slowly goes close to him. However, when they were close to kissing each other, Saki again seemed to notice Nagisa's scent, and it looks like the realization that she's being two-timed on by his boyfriend suddenly struck her. It appears that one minute she's sunshine and rainbows, the next she's a toddler throwing a tantrum in front of him. Seems like she finally realizes that she is with a guy who also has another girlfriend. Why is she acting like this now, when earlier she gave him permission to be with Nagisa? However, Naoya tries to calm her down. In the background, they hear the announcement that the fireworks have ended. Apparently, Saki finally gets her senses back as she hears the announcement. They both look sad to lose their chance to get close to each other. After some moments, Saki finally realizes she has lost her moment to watch fireworks with him. Maybe she should start a blog, Confessions of an Idiot's Regretter. Hence, Naoya urgently goes somewhere. Apparently, he bought fireworks material for her. That's so sweet of him. But it looks like Saki doesn't think like that, because she looks at him like he is crazy. It appears she thinks that it's cringe that he has bought smaller fireworks because the big fireworks launch is over. I'm pretty sure she could win the most ungrateful girlfriend award. Finally, she looks happy as she accepts his gift. Meanwhile, Naoya appreciates her that after all the trouble he is causing Saki by doing two-timing on her, she is still accepting him. He states that if Saki weren't the one he is going out with, then this would have been over from the start. He seems to remember Shino's words about Saki, so he asks her, he wants to know how she is feeling right now. Seems like today he wants to confess all his feelings to her, as he starts to tell her since they started living together with Nagisa. A lot has happened with Rika, and even Shino found out about them. It looks like he is going to say something romantic, but apparently our guy is so stupid. He asks her if she is happy that he is dating another girl. He's got the emotional intelligence of a potato, hence she smacks him and tells him of course she is not happy. And is he an idiot? However, he tells her he knows this, and that's why he still wants to ask her properly. How does she feel right now about their relationship? He even asks her if she is hiding her painful feelings. He reveals that, apparently, he is afraid to know this, but still it's important for him to know how she feels. The atmosphere around them looks very intense. Saki asks him. If she tells him that she is hurting and she is at her limit, then what will he do? However, Naoya replies that he will figure out something. It appears Saki gets angry with his reply. As she tells him if he wants to figure it out, then why did he ask? Hence, Naoya asks what her answer is. Saki starts to think, and suddenly she tells him for now they should just light these fireworks. Since he already bought them, her ability to dodge conversations is Olympic worthy. Afterwards, Saki starts to play with fireworks. Nonetheless, Saki says she knows Shino must have said a lot of things to him. He confirms this. Hence, she finally confesses that she does feel a bit lonely. He always used to look at her, but then he met Nagisa. However, now she feels like she will never be able to monopolize his feelings, and perhaps if she tells him to break up with Nagisa, he will still love her. She knows it's sad, but even now, she still loves him. Apparently, she knows he is a hard worker and stupidly honest, yet he is bad at giving up. Nonetheless, she loves all that about him. Surprisingly, when Naoya asked her permission to two-timing, she did want to beat him. When Saki appears to choose a firecracker, she confesses that she believes he will never lie to her. Obviously, when their two-timing began, she used to get quite upset about it. Maybe she should write a book, How to Share Your Boyfriend and Not Lose Your Sanity. Meanwhile, she is playing with fire sparkles when suddenly, she admits she doesn't know what the future holds for the three of them. But surprisingly, she is not worried about the relationship between them. because he has been telling her that he loves her all the time. Therefore, Saki starts to remember about how he always confesses his love to her. Like a lovesick puppy, he always used to follow her everywhere. Surprisingly, Naoya has been in love with her for years, so she believes that Naoya will always be in love with her. However, he is also in love with another girl. Naoya seems speechless by her confession. Furthermore, she comforts him to not worry about it, since they always love each other. However, she speaks out that they should play with fireworks and enjoy every day. Hence, Saki states, she is happy with how things are right now. And considering about the two timing, she lets out that he just has to try his best to convince her. Surprisingly, she warns him, if he does indecent things to Nagisa, she will kill him. Maybe we should rename her the Possessive Princess. When Naoya didn't answer, she looked at him and unexpectedly found him crying there. Apparently, he is so glad he fell in love with Saki that he starts to cry after listening to her confession. I'm not sure what's more confusing, their relationship or my own life choices. At that moment, Naoya goes to her side to hug her. However, Saki looks stunned by his action. It seems Naoya looks determined to make her happy. All of a sudden, Saki pushes him away because she gets shy. Her ability to kill a romantic mood is a legend. Afterwards, she gets embarrassed and starts blabbering that they should call everyone since they have fireworks here to celebrate. Her ability to destroy her happiness is truly an art form. Finally, after a while, they got what they deserve, yes, a peaceful time after all that drama, and as they are having a fun time spectating the fireworks. The gloom in their eyes can also be visible along with their joy, and to make things more memorable, Naoya also fires a firecracker. However, Shino asks her if she kissed Naoya. Apparently, Naoya and Nagisa get shocked by her question, while Saki looks embarrassed by it. Get the popcorn ready, guys, because the situation is about to become hilarious. Shino guesses that Saki may have forgotten about the kiss. That's when Saki informs her a lot of things happened between them, so it doesn't matter. She even fled from there by making an excuse to save herself from Shino. Apparently, the atmosphere there becomes more fun. They all seem to be enjoying the festival and fireworks. Meanwhile, Rika, being delusional, declares to her sister that on July 31st, she is going to kidnap Naoya. The day after the fireworks festival, Shino is sitting outside while staring at Naoya's picture on her phone. She thinks about Saki and Naoya's relationship, as she wants them to be happy. She even wonders if Naoya loves Saki, so why could she not give up on him? She looks in deep thought when unexpectedly, Naoya appears behind her and scares the hell out of her. He questions her about what she wants to give up. Shino gets panicked and hurriedly closes her phone. She worriedly asked him if he saw her what she was doing. However, he seems to know nothing. Shino gets relaxed. That's when he asks her if something is wrong with her. However, she doesn't pay attention to him. He then worriedly asks if her wound is still hurting from yesterday. She quickly reassures him that she is fine. Suddenly, she seems to remember something. She asks him why he didn't kiss her yesterday. What did she just say? He is shocked to know that she wants him to kiss her. Apparently, Shino clarifies that she is talking about Saki, not her. At this, he told her that after he left her there, some things happened to him. Like Rika caught him, and then some other things occurred with Nagisa. She gets surprised and questions him about what occurred with Nagisa. And suddenly at that moment, Nagisa appears listening to her name. Shino then asks her what she did with him. Nagisa starts to get shy. Shino looks like she's about to burst with her anger. She holds Nagisa by her shoulder as she asks her if she kissed him. Nagisa tells her they didn't do that. Then why does she get shy? Maybe she's hiding something. As usual, Naoya comes in between them to stop her. But Shino doesn't pay attention to him. She didn't even acknowledge his presence. Nagisa then tells her they just held hands. Surprisingly, Shino informs them to show her how they held hands. They start to show it by holding each other's hands. Yet Shino gets angry since she thinks that's how lovers hold hands. So how could they do that? They are dating, that means they are a couple from Shino. Looks like she is not going to give them peace, since she predicts that they have done more things. Shino shows her angry side to Nagisa and apparently it works. Because Nagisa starts showing her all the things they have done, like she laid down on his lap and he carried her in his arms like a princess. And then they hugged. They didn't have to display everything to her. Shino asks them if this is all they have done. Nagisa replies that after everything they just talked and watched fireworks together. Nagisa leans toward him and reveals that it was a very special moment for her. Shino asks, why is she always the one who gets to spend time with him? Doesn't she feel bad for Saki? It seems Shino gets very sad as she leaves crying. They were both surprised by her reaction. She then goes to her room and thinks it's all because of Nagisa that Saki has problems. If she wasn't here, then Saki would be happy, and she would have been able to give up her feelings for Noya. She even tries to delete his picture from her mobile. However, she couldn't delete it. Therefore, she starts crying. She thinks Nagisa is not being fair to Saki. After a while, Saki, Nagisa, and Noya seem to look at huge parcel boxes. Nagisa starts to read the note. It turns out that the parcel is for Saki. Apparently, she has won a giveaway. That's why they have given her camping tools. She gets surprised. It looks like she doesn't believe she could win a giveaway. She has less faith in herself than I do in my ability to cook. Anyways, Nagisa asked her if she had applied for something. Saki looks confused. Suddenly, she reveals she is not sure, but it might be she applied. Wow, she doesn't even remember this. They even get free coupons for free access to a camping site. Meanwhile, Rika is hiding behind the wall and listening to their conversation. I'm pretty sure she's planning something hilarious. Hence, they all plan to go there. It seems Rika has sent them that camping parcel. She wastes too much money on this guy. After a few days, they all go camping. Saki looks excited to be there. They plan to make good memories. Furthermore, Noaya starts to set up the tent, whereas Nagisa takes cooking responsibility. She should open her own restaurant. Saki looks pleased as she feels she is lucky to win a giveaway for this camping trip. She doesn't even know if she's been fooled. However, Shino gives her a reality check by saying that she is currently getting 2 timing on her, and still Saki thinks she's lucky. Shino knows where to strike her. Saki gets embarrassed. It appears she thinks that some things in this world are better off left unsaid. Although Shino states that it's her fault for being carefree. She seems upset with her. Nonetheless, Saki asks her if she's angry because of what happened at the festival. Evidently, Shino reveals that she couldn't believe how she forgot to kiss him. She even asks her, is she fine with Nagisa stealing Noya away from her? But it seems Saki doesn't understand anything. Furthermore, Saki advises her to not get too worried for her. Funnily, out of nowhere, Saki asks Shino if she loves her. But Shino pops her balloon by saying she might start to hate her actually. She has some good sense of humor. Anyways, Noya then tells her to collect some water, so in the meantime he can set up the tent. But Shino takes the bottle from him to bring the water. While she informs Saki to observe Nagisa, she doesn't do anything weird. After some time, Shino and Saki seem to be sitting together. Meanwhile, Shino lectures her that she always does dumb things and she needs to get serious with Noya. However, she says that she is serious about him, but Shino cuts her off by asking, what was she thinking when she left him alone with Nagisa? Saki seems hesitant. As she uncovers that, it seems to look like Shino is not just angry, but she is also worried about something too. So she can't leave her like this. Moreover, Saki informs her that she is not as stupid as she thinks, and she can always tell if something is wrong with her. I also want a friend like her. Hence, Shino asked her, could it be possible that she is not serious about Noya? However, at that moment Saki gets a call from Noya. When she picks it up, Noya sounds panicked in the call as he tells them that something bad happened there. Apparently, he is having difficulty setting up the tent and Nagisa can't start the fire. This is the lamest situation I have ever seen. Nagisa announces that they might not have anything to eat. However, Saki looks like she is hungry as her stomach starts making sounds. Guess who appears here all of a sudden? Rika comes at that moment with her little sister. They all look surprised to see her there. Surprisingly, Rika set up a tent within minutes. She even gives them lessons about how to start a fire. Amazingly, she even cooks the food for them. Saki appreciates her for the help. She even calls her their lifesaver. Rika seemed happy as her plan worked. Luckily, it looks like Noya has some brain cells left in him because he states that Rika's being here can't be just a coincidence. They all seem to think about this. Saki then asks her if she follows them here. Rika finally reveals that she already knew they were coming here today for camping, and even the giveaway price they thought they won was her things. She bought the tools and sent them herself. They seem to get shocked at this and start to assume things about her. Apparently, Saki thinks Rika is kind, but Noya thinks she's probably scheming something. He asks her why she's doing all this. Hence, she informs him she wants to go camping with him, and that's why she did it. Why is she pursuing him like he is the last guy in the world? She states that if she invited him, then he wouldn't come, so that's why she has done all of this. Saki couldn't believe she would spend all this money to spend time with him. However, Rika thinks that she gets to spend time with Noya, surrounded by nature, and even get to eat the food with him. so all these will help her to deepen their relationship. Looks like she has left her mind in her home. Furthermore, she's willing to spend money on someone she loves. This is not love, it is obsession. Meanwhile, Naoya asks her why she is doing this. Even when he rejected her so many times, apparently Rika ignores him and offers food to Saki. Surprisingly, Naoya comes in between them as he tells her to not eat her food because she drugged him before. They all get surprised. Risa also confirmed this, however Rika informs them she didn't put anything in today. It appears they still don't believe her. Nagisa announces that she will make food. Rika then starts to eat pizza in front of Saki. She even gives some food to her sister. They both start to eat. Meanwhile, it appears Saki is very hungry since she asks Nagisa about the food, although the food seems to be burnt. Whereas Rika made different tasty dishes. Looks like Saki couldn't resist her food as she was too hungry. And at this moment, she doesn't even curry if she drugged her. Seemingly, Saki requests Rika to give her food. However, Rika demands that she will give the food if Naoya eats it first. She knows how to achieve her goal. Saki orders him to eat her food. So finally he eats the food and surprisingly he likes it. They all start eating food. Apparently, Naoya asks her how can she act so normally when he says all the harsh things to her during the festival. Funnily, she says that he is starting to like her. She and her delusional thoughts. Everyone is shocked by her question. Saki even scolds her. Therefore, Saki asks Naoya to say something to her, but it looks like his mind stops working after her question. He finally speaks out and shockingly confesses that he can't deny what Rika said. Did I hear him wrong? Because he can't possibly say this. Everyone gets startled at his answer. Seki questions him. Does he start to like Rika? Meanwhile, Rika looks very delighted to know this. She even thinks if she keeps going like this, then Naoya will become hers. She should stop watching crazy serials. Looks like Naoya's brain started working because he announces that he would never love her and he is a bit conscious of her right now. That's why he said he likes her. Seems like his brain has not started working yet. However, Saki punches him like a true champion and starts beating him. I'm starting to think she has learned fighting just so she can practice on him. Furthermore, Reki taunts Saki because she is violent. That's why Naoya ends up falling in love with another girl. She should mind her own business. However, Saki informs her that this is their normal behavior. Furthermore, Rika's sister asks her, does Naoya already have a girlfriend? Seemingly, Saki replies that she is his girlfriend. Even Nagisa comes at that moment and also tells her she is also his girlfriend. Their situations are so dramatic. Cute Risa gets confused by their statement. It seems Rika doesn't tell her about this messed up drama of theirs, so now she informs her that Naoya is actually dating Nagisa and Saki, and he's doing two-timing with their permission. Apparently she wonders what he sees in them. Also wonder what you see in him. Seems like cute Risa has more senses than they have. Apparently she asks Rika that she is falling in love with a guy who's already dating two girls at a time. However, Rika tells her that she knows it's embarrassing, but it's true. It's like you saw the bridge, yet still you go in that direction. Hence, Risa asks her if she wants to steal him from both of them. This idiot girl confirms this and says she will steal him. He is not a jewelry piece that you can just steal. Surprisingly, she confesses that she has done so many things to separate them, yet they are still together. Perhaps she knows Naoya is tough to crack, and that's the thing she loves about him. She's living proof that being delusional is a solution for everything. However, cute Risa slaps the hell out of her and says she is dumb. Risa tells her she always works hard on her videos and is very kind to her. She is even cute, so she should choose a decent man because she deserves it and leave this stupid Naoya. Risa should be a role model to these idiots. Seems like Rika hasn't understood anything because apparently she thinks Naoya is a good man even if he's two-timing. Girl, he is not a Prince Charming. You can find way better than him. Risa argues with her and tells Rika if he's dating two girls at a time, then he can't be a good man. Glad she's giving them a reality check, whereas Saki tells her it's not right for her to go after someone's boyfriend. Risa agrees with her, however, cute Risa tells her she is also not done right by allowing him to two-timing on her. Apparently, Saki ignores her insults since she is happy that her favorite Matuber recognizes her. She's not even blonde, yet the dumbest being to exist. Hence, Shino is angry with Risa for scolding her friend, and tells her to stop doing it, but Risa replies she won't stop. Furthermore, Risa tells them she is not saying this because she doesn't feel bad about Nagisa and Saki, but this is not right, that's why she can't give up. Meanwhile, in all this drama, Naoya is lying on the ground like he is dead. He must be dreaming of his escape plan. Apparently, Rika tells them, even if she is being a nuisance, she can't give up on him just because he has his girlfriends. She just has to move forward with all her might to win him. Eventually, she'll crush his thick wall, and then one day, she will steal him from these two. If she desperately wants to steal something, then she should steal the bank, not him. Perhaps she thinks she has already started to crush his wall. Seiki gets furious at her and declares that from now onwards, they will not let Noya to be alone with Rika. Nagisa agrees with her. Apparently, our hero finally wakes up from his deep sleep. Looks like he is going to Faki Saki's anger, as she angrily demands him to tell her what he and Rika have done together so far, and also tell her every detail of it. If she is so protective to him, then why she allow him to date Nagisa? Anyways, Noe reveals that Rika is charming and he's getting a bit conscious of her lately, but he will never do anything that would make Nagisa and Saki sad. Maybe I should take some lessons from him, so then I can finally impress someone. Surprisingly, before he can completely confess his love to them, he falls asleep at the last moment. Looks like Rika has drugged them, because apparently, they all fall asleep. Don't let her beauty fool you if she's got a bite that can sting. Rika seems happy, as her plan to spend lovey-dovey camping with Noea can start now. Her plans are out of this world. Noe seems to be dozing off because of the drug effects. Meanwhile, Rika watches him like a crazy stalker. She even cuffed his hand with a tree while he was sitting in a chair. She looks sweet, but she is dangerous. After some time, he starts to wake up. When he comes to his senses, he realizes his hands are cuffed. Seemingly, Rika is cooking like she is at a picnic. Apparently, she notices that he is finally awake. However, Noea looks surprised to see her. He then asks her if she drugged him again, and he also notices that there is no one else apart from them. Therefore, he questions her, where are the other girls? She informs him they are apparently sleeping in the tent. He seems to get relaxed knowing this. Seems like he realizes he can't be this relaxed in this situation, as he angrily asks her why she did this. Rika says she realized that he's been cold to her lately because he is starting to like her. That's why she has to kidnap him and force him to fall in love with her. Logic and reason take a vacation whenever she's around. Noea is stunned by her answer. Hence, he tells her there were plenty of other options for her. Why did she choose this? It appears she just wanted to be alone with him. However, he informs her that he wants her to stop this madness. Since he has no intention of falling in love with her, she becomes dead silent by his answer. So he asks her why she is silent. Not so surprisingly, she tells him they should put everything behind them. First, they will start by having him fall for her. Hence, Noea becomes stunned by her next action. It appears that Rika suddenly took off her clothes. Horrified by her action, he asks her, why is she taking off her clothes? Surprisingly, she states that she remembers he started to become cold with her after they were together in hot springs. Nonetheless, Noea becomes speechless. Apparently, she thinks Noea gets excited about her body, that's why he starts to ignore her. Her head is still far in the clouds. Looks like Noea gets disturbed by her explanation, as he tells her she is thinking wrong. Furthermore, he tries to make her understand by saying that she would be okay if someone loved her because of her body. Yet it seems she doesn't get anything, since she starts to point out that she has made tireless efforts to make her body. So of course she'll be happy if someone loved her for her body. Her lack of common sense sometimes leaves me speechless. He looks stunned by her response. However, she seems to be thinking when she says it's her body. That's when she suddenly realizes something. As she starts questioning him, did he start being conscious of her after they talked normally on that day? She seems to be happy, realizing maybe that's the reason behind his cold behavior. She asks him if that is true. Meanwhile, she also wears her clothes back. She then announces that they should talk until morning. As she pushed him back to the chair and sat him there, she then reveals that she has made a lot of food, so they should talk while eating. She has a heart of gold, but sometimes her brain takes a vacation. Furthermore, she states that on that day they just speak for 5 minutes, but she enjoys it a lot. Though she even wishes to know more about him, so that she will love him even more. She becomes shy as she admits. She did all of this just to make him fall for her. Noaya confesses that it's true he has become more aware of her, but more than that he loves Nagisa and Saki even more. He reveals that when he fell in love with Nagisa, at that moment he ended up hurting Saki. That's why he doesn't want them to be hurt and feeling anxious anymore. He looks determined as he is trying to pull out his hand from handcuffs. He becomes angry since he tells her that if she does something like this again, he will reject her no matter what. Meanwhile, he tries really hard to pull out his hand from handcuffs, and in this process he ends up hurting his hand and it starts to bleed. However, at the end he finally breaks the tree branch as he frees his hand, whereas Rika looks remorseful. Therefore, he declares that he has decided, if it comes to Nagisa and Saki's, then he will crush her feelings, but he will not hurt them. Furthermore, he starts to walk away from there. Lastly, Naoya tells her he wants her to promise him that she will give up on him. However, this idiot girl handcuffs her hand with his hand as apparently she tells him that she really loves it when he is so straightforward like that. Please someone give me permission to kill her. Meanwhile, Naoya becomes shocked by her actions. Whereas the girls are sleeping peacefully in the tent, Naoya couldn't believe it as he demands what she is doing. Apparently, she angrily tells him they are not done here, so he can't leave. However, he informs her she doesn't give up on him already, then he will stop being nice to her. But this stupid girl angrily states that she wants to spend as much time with him as possible, so that she could make a bit of progress with their relationship. I have never seen a stupid girl like her. It seems he mistakes her reply with some other thing. However, she denies it by saying that she is starting to think that he is seeing her as some perverted woman. Funnily, he asks her if she is not a pervert then, although she tells him she is not. Suddenly, she takes out a key as she blackmails him that she will then put these handcuff keys in her clothes. He looks horrified. She is giving him a tough time. Seemingly, she challenges him. He can't get the keys now, can he? Also, she advises him he should stop running away from her. Surprisingly, she tells him to show her his hand, so she will take care of his wound. However, Naoya angrily yells that he will not give up. As he goes forward to take the keys, in that moment, Rika suddenly punches him. Is he a punching bag to these girls? Therefore, Rika questions him. What's he doing? Naoya looks defeated when he states he already told her. If she is going to force her way to him, then he will respond to it in the same way. It appears he took the key from her, so she starts to fight him to take the key. However, he informs her he has no intention of looking at anyone but Saki and Nagisa. And if she keeps insisting on him, then she's only going to hurt herself. She should stop annoying him and leave him in peace. Rika looks angry at his reply. He even requests her. Yet she becomes sad, however she determinedly tells him that she has been ready to get hurt from the very beginning. She reveals that she knows that things won't be easy after she falls in love with him. She starts to fight him to take the key. So she reveals that she knows there's a big chance that her love won't come true. Yet she still loves him because he is the one who protected her Metu channel and because he stayed true to himself when she tempted him. Seemingly, even after she kept bothering him, he still praised her videos. That makes her love him more and more. Surprisingly, she kissed him on the cheek. When Naoya dodges her, she becomes angry at this. However, he accidentally falls to the ground. That's when she sees her chance and takes the key from him. Apparently, she thinks if she doesn't give up on him, then somehow he becomes her. Because the same happened with her Metu channel. In the beginning, she doesn't get views, but she puts hard work into her channel and never gives up. That's when finally she ended up showing off her cleavage. She is wild. Eventually, she knows that it's lame to depend on stuff like this for views. But she thinks it's even lamer to give up without being able to do something lame. That's why she did it. She likes the way she is. She doesn't care what other people say about her. So she doesn't mind getting hurt. She will not give up on him. She's got a talent for making even intelligent people question their own sanity. It seems Naoya becomes speechless because of her. However, suddenly her phone rings. That's when she points out at the sky. Surprisingly, the sky looks very beautiful with full stars. They both look fascinated by its beauty. The date just changed, and it is August 1st now. This means today is Rika's birthday. Well, happy birthday to her. Afterwards, she informs him she has traveled a lot to shoot videos. She reveals that the starry sky here is the best, so she just wanted to stargaze with him for her birthday. She could have said this to him like a normal person. She didn't have to kidnap him for it. Nonetheless, he tells her he can't be with her. Yet Rika confesses she doesn't care if their relationship doesn't turn out the way she wants it to, or even if he never becomes her, she still chooses to have as many memories with him as possible. That's how she is. She's the combination of sweetness with dumbness. It seems like the girls have started to wake up at the tent. Apparently, Nagisa points out Naoya is not with them when they woke up. She assumes Rika must have kidnapped him. Seki panics and lets out that they should hurry and search for him. Meanwhile, Naoya asks Rika if she still wants a life where she has as many memories with him as possible. Thus, she agrees with him and says no matter how much he avoids her, she is always going to chase him. Funnily, he starts to think he should then tell the police. At this, Rika starts to panic and tells him she would still do it without breaking the law. Seems like she is not going to leave him even if she has to get hurt in the process. Clearly, he realizes that rejecting her would be useless. So he asks her, what's her plan if he doesn't fall for her even after she does all she can do? Surprisingly, she confesses, then she will have no choice but to give up on him. But still, she won't give up that easily. Meanwhile, she reveals she has so many things she wants to do with him, like going on dates, shooting videos together, and chatting with him. She even wants him to see her good points from every angle. Noya looks embarrassed by her boldness. It appears she even wants to live together with him. Obviously, she knows that's impossible. I'm not sure what's worse, her stupidity or the fact that she is too naive. Noya looks defeated when surprisingly, he agrees with her and says it will do everything she says to make him fall for her. It seems she doesn't believe him. Hence, he tells her he will do everything, the dates, shooting, and most surprising thing, he even agrees with her living at his house. What does he want to do? Has he finally lost all his senses? Unexpectedly, he agrees he will do everything she says, even indecent things she mentioned, but apart from sleeping with each other. However, she gets shocked by his shocking revelation. Finally, she becomes happy. Yet he informs her that they will set a time limit. Therefore, he gives her 5 months, and tells her if she agrees to the time limit, then he won't avoid her at all. He reveals after the time limit will be over, he will reject her then. Meanwhile, Rika looks confident because she thinks he will fall for her. However, he tells her he won't be able to put Saki and Nagisa at ease if he doesn't reject her, and he knows Rika won't leave him until he gives her a chance. Hence, she looks impressed with him. As she tells him, even though he could just ignore her, yet he still gives her a chance, even if in the end he just wants to reject her. But still he gives her a chance for her sake. His kindness will put him in danger someday. Looks like she is ready to make him fall for her in the next 5 months. In the end, she frees him from the handcuffs. However, he wishes her a happy birthday and sets up a table for her to cut a cake. Apparently, he wants her to quickly cut the cake so that he could go back to his girls as he is worried for them. He has dug his own grave by suggesting this deal. Afterwards, they eat the cake, then they both watch the stars together. He then goes back to Saki and Nagisa. Meanwhile, the girls are worried for him, whereas Saki starts making assumptions about him and Rika. She has wild thoughts, though Nagisa tells her that Noya will never fall for her. Wait till she gets to know about this guy's foolish deal. Apparently, both girls start to make assumptions about indecent things. That's when Shino scolds them both to stop speaking. Furthermore, she questions them if they are actually even worried about Noya. Suddenly, they hear Noya calling their name, as apparently he is running towards them. They all go to him. Therefore, he informed them he went into the tent, but they weren't there, so he's been searching for them. Hence, Saki asks him if he is okay and does Rika do something to him. She starts to angrily ask him whether Rika does any indecent thing to him. Out of nowhere, Rika appears and unexpectedly she slaps her and informs them that she didn't do anything indecent to him. However, Saki asks why Rika is here. Meanwhile, Noya gets serious and states he wants to tell them something about how he handles things with Rika. Both girls look shocked at this, whereas Saki hesitates at first as she thinks about something, then suddenly she punches the hell out of Noya. Whoa, I knew he would get more punches. Apparently, Saki thinks he wants to start 3-timing. That's why she punched him. She thinks so highly of him. However, he tells her it's not about 3-timing. He wants to talk about how he's going to make Rika give up on him. Saki becomes relaxed at this. Afterwards, he informs them that Rika is going to live with them for 5 months. All the girl looks horrified whereas Rika gets close to him. Furthermore, he tells them about their deal. Funnily, Saki again punches him hard. As she tells him, it sounds like 3-timing to her. She looks furious with him, while Nagisa holds her so she can't beat him. However, he tells them Rika isn't going to give up as easily and he can't let her cause trouble for the two of them again. So he will face her challenges for 5 months, and she has promised if he still doesn't fall for her, then she will give up on him. The girl seems to understand his plan. However, Saki asks him, he is sure that he will not fall for her? And apparently, this stupid guy is not sure, but he is confident that he loves them more. Seemingly, Saki thinks it's difficult to change his mind now. So that's why both girls agreed with him, but Shino doesn't look happy with this. At last, they all decide to enjoy their camping. After enjoying themselves, they decided to go back home. In the train, all of them seem to be sleeping apart from Shino. She thinks about why Saki is okay with his decisions. Apparently, she thinks if Noya was her boyfriend, then she would never give any other girl a chance to fall for him. She thinks maybe she loves him more than Saki does. Therefore, she feels maybe she shouldn't hold back her feelings for him. Rika comes to Noe's house with her things to live with them. She declares that, at the end of the year, she will make him fall in love with her. However, Saki doesn't seem happy with her, as she is fuming with anger. Hence, she tells Nagisa if she ever does anything suspicious. She didn't even finish talking when, funnily, Rika chose this moment to make her more angry by kissing Noya on his cheek. She is provoking a wild cat. Seki looks murderous as she declares she will kill her. Therefore, Rika further provokes her by asking her if she hasn't kissed him by any chance. She likes playing with fire. Be careful, Saki throws good punches. Apparently, she complains to Noya to stop her, otherwise she will do it. Meanwhile, he thinks about it. Then he says she can do anything as long as it's not something immoral. All the girls become shocked by his answer. Although he informs them, for the next 5 months she can do anything to make him fall for her, but if he still doesn't fall for her, then she'll give up. Apparently, that's the deal they have made, and he will protect that promise. After some moments, they gave her a house tour. When they show her Noya's room, she comfortably lay in his bed, as she announces that she will sleep in this room with him. Whereas, Seki looks scary when she tells Nagisa to bring her some kind of a blunt weapon. She is too violent. Surprisingly, Shino brings a dumbbell that she found in Nagisa's room. Funnily, Saki took the dumbbell and went forward to Rika's side to attack her. However, at the last moment, Noya took hold of her to stop her. While Saki yells at Rika that she knows she wants to do something immoral with him. Although Rika tells her she just wants to sleep together with him in the same room. However, she informs them in the summer she sleeps in light clothing, and after seeing her, if Noya can't control himself, then she can't help when something happens between them. Noya becomes shy. Meanwhile, Saki looks like she is about to burst like a volcano. Noya is still holding her, otherwise, today would have been the last day for Rika. However, he assures her that he won't do it. Even Nagisa thinks Noya would never do that. Seems like Saki finally realizes this as she becomes calm. As I said earlier, Rika has a death wish today because she took Noya and sat him in the bed. Meanwhile, she also sits in his lap. They are treating him like he is a toy. Furthermore, she declares that if they trust him that much, then it should be fine that she sleeps with him. It seems that today Saki will burst from anger. She tells him it's not okay with her, and Nagisa also angrily says she can't do it. However, Nagisa blackmails her that she will spread her photo with Noya on the internet if she sleeps with him. She even threatens her that she is sure it'll shatter her reputation. She knows how to turn the situation in her favor. Rika becomes angry as she warns her to not do that. Apparently, she asks them if they actually do not trust Noya at all. Therefore, they get embarrassed by it and say that it's not true. They do trust him, however. Shino warns them to not get tricked by her. She is not easy to fool. Furthermore, Rika pets Seki's head and says if he is not the kind of man who would lay his hands on another woman, then there shouldn't be a problem for them. At that moment, Shino tells Noya that he should stop her. He looks in deep thought and surprisingly says that sleeping together should be fine and it's not something immoral. See kids, that's how a devil tricks people. They all become stunned by his reply. Hence, Shino informs him that it's pretty much borderline. She is not wrong. However, Rika celebrates her victory and says to him, they will sleep together here starting from tonight. Meanwhile, this foolish guy says he has to keep his promise to her. Therefore, Shino angrily tells him, why is he so inflexible, and what are the other things he can't accept then? Hence, he starts to tell her when she stops him and says she doesn't want to hear it. Meanwhile, he informs that it doesn't mean it's okay to sleep together every night, and if she is really going to sleep with him, then he must also sleep with Nagisa and Saki too. Surprisingly, he even asks Shino that he likes her to sleep with him sometimes, but if she doesn't mind it then. Wow, bro wants every girl for himself. Shino gets surprised by the question. Apparently, he wants to prove he's not a man who will lay his hand on another girl. However, Saki says she is fine with Shino, and it would decrease Rika's chances. Nagisa and Shino look at her surprise. Meanwhile, he reveals that the next 5 months will not be easy for them, but while facing Rika's resolve. He wants to deepen their relationship with Saki and Nagisa. Is there a therapy app for dealing with this drama? I might need it. He even tells them they should flirt so that they won't lose to Rika. And they would do everything as long as it's not lewd. Both girls look embarrassed as they agree with him. Meanwhile, Saki thinks if Rika is serious, then she must get over her shyness. However, Nagisa is wondering if there's something she can do so that Rika can't steal him. Whereas Shino thinks this might be her chance. She wants to know if she has the possibility. Their life has more drama than the Indian serial. Afterwards, Saki states they should decide who's going to sleep with Noaya tonight. Out of all things, they decided to do rock and paper scissors. Funnily, Shino wins the game, which means she will sleep with him tonight, though she looks stressed by it. At night, Noaya apologizes to her and tells her she can sleep on the bed. Meanwhile, he sleeps on the floor. However, Shino seems to be putting off her clothes. She looks cute in her nightgown. Seemingly, he gets shocked seeing her like that and misunderstands her. Therefore, she tells him to not misunderstand and explains that he said he wouldn't lay his hands on other girls. So she wants to know if he wants to attack her. She looks shy. Meanwhile, he starts to think, and then he states that he can still hold himself. Tough guy Shino gets embarrassed. Furthermore, he tells her to sleep. Surprisingly, she makes him shocked when she sleeps by his side. She reveals to him she hasn't done testing him, whereas he questions her actions. At that, she reveals that Saki asked her to do this. She is making excuses. I know he. However, he asks her how deep their friendship is. Hence, she demands him. Does he want to attack her now? He then starts to notice her, yet still says he is fine. She gets shocked by his self-control. However, he tells her to seduce him more if Saki asks her to do this. Then he also wants to challenge himself if he really can hold himself. She then starts to seduce him, but apparently he has more self-control. His self-control will put my self-control for food to shame. Apparently, when nothing seems to work on him, then she tells him to close his eyes for a bit. She then shyly loses all her clothes. However, she gets too embarrassed. He then suddenly puts her gown back on her and apologizes to her. Meanwhile, he closes his eyes so that she can set her gown. Sometimes he is a gentleman and sometimes he is a jerk. Whereas she feels that even if she went this far, he still doesn't feel a thing about her. She looks disappointed. Therefore, he confesses to her he could barely hold himself back because she is so charming. So he asks him to train her to resist these temptations. He is playing a dangerous game here. Apparently, he even gives her a chance to refuse him. Hence, she agrees to it. They both then go to sleep. Meanwhile, after his confession, Shino thinks she might have a chance with him. Why is everyone so crazy about him? In the morning, the girls start to decide who will sleep with him today, and obviously, Rika wins the game. She seems happy as she will be sleeping with him tonight. Best of luck to him for spending the night with this crazy girl. Whereas, Nagisa looks sad and Saki as usual is angry. Therefore, Saki warns him to not lay a hand on her. He looks determined as he informs them, no matter what she does, he will be sure to resist it. He even reveals that since he was barely able to hold back with Shino when he slept with her, his foolish mouth will bring him problems. They all become shocked to know this. Meanwhile, Rika looks angry with Shino. Even so, Saki asks Shino what she did last night. However, she said she didn't do anything. Liar, liar, pants on fire, he. Funnily, Saki accuses him of being a horny monster. Furthermore, she warns Rika to not do anything weird. Surprisingly, Rika looks horrified as she thinks she doesn't know Noya was a pervert. She starts to question her decision. Apparently, she assumes he will not lay a hand on her, so she plans to seduce him to make him notice her. Furthermore, she thinks if he could barely hold back for Shino, then he will definitely attack here because she thinks she is cuter and has bigger melons. She loves herself too much. However, she thinks she can't miss her chance. So she will prove to him she is not an easy girl. Fast forward to nighttime, it seems he is trying to make himself ready for Rika's sexiness to control himself, but he gets surprised as she comes to wear a cute outfit. She reveals she is wearing this to hide her curves so he won't get weird ideas. She even set up her mobile on a tripod, while she reveals she will record the whole night, and if he lay a hand on her, then she will show the video to Saki and Nagisa. Now who is being scared, hey? However, he tells her if he loses control, then he is ready to take responsibility. She looks stunned and asks him if he is really going to take the responsibility. Therefore, he states that he will take full responsibility and spend the rest of his life with her. Apparently, now she wants him to take her responsibility. However, she says if he wants to do something lewd with her, then break up with Nagisa and Saki and go out with her. Whereas he tells her both girls are precious to him, so no thanks. She should be dead now because of this insult. Surprisingly, she starts doing indecent things while trying to convince him to be with her. But it seems like our guy is strong. He rejects her with a boring face. She then starts crying. Hence, he tries to make her understand that she should treasure herself. They both then go to sleep. Meanwhile, Risa seems to inform her father that her sister has gone to live with a guy she likes and his girlfriends. Fast forward to their routines. It seems Noe's part-time job starts at 4 a.m. When he gets back, he helps Rika to shoot videos. In the evening, he plays a game with Saki. Then he studies without taking a break. However, he even works out for 2 hours before his part-time job. Man, how can he be so lively in this era of darkness? When Noya and Nagisa were coming back from shopping, she asks him if he is getting enough sleep. It seems he sleeps for 4 hours, hence she gets worried for him. Therefore, he informs her he has to face Rika, even makes Shino acknowledge their relationship, and moreover, he wants to make her and Saki happy. He is doing too many things at one time. Apparently, she realizes his hands are kind of hot, so she worriedly asks him if he is sick. He then panics and tells her he is, but it's not that bad. She then tells him to rest even a bit. Meanwhile, he tells her he is fine and runs away from there. Apparently, she goes home and quickly tells Saki they should decide who gets to sleep with him tonight. However, Saki assumes Nagisa is so nice, she wants her to win so she can go first. She is going to get a surprise. Afterwards, they play the game and guess who wins this game. Fast forward to nighttime, Noya seems to be studying. When Nagisa comes to his room, and yes, apparently Nagisa wins the game, so she will spend the night with him today. However, the surprise is that Nagisa comes to him wearing a nurse costume. Surprisingly, she goes to his side and carries him from the seat to his bed like a baby. She can pick up a truck with power like this. Hence, he shockingly asks her what she's doing. Funnily, she lets out that she won't listen to someone like him who can't even take care of his body. She is scolding him like a child. Apparently, her method to check his temperature is to touch her forehead with his. We should be glad she is not a doctor. She then checks him with a thermometer and informs him he has a fever. So he asks her if she has a thermometer, then why she touched their foreheads. Man, she is just finding ways to get close to you. However, she tells him she is very angry. She then covers him with a futon and gives him medicines. She even calls his workplace to take a leave for tomorrow. She is a multitasker. Furthermore, she warns him that if he doesn't take care of himself, then she is going to be mad at him. Hence, he tells her it's kind of nice to be scolded by her. Apparently, he is happy that she is taking care of him, and he feels they are now more close to each other. He even compliments her that she is looking cute and ecchi in this outfit. This man knows how to flirt. Meanwhile, she becomes shy at his compliment. The next day comes. Psyche is determined that today is her turn to sleep with him, and surprisingly, she was spying on them while they were taking turns to sleep with him. So she knows nothing immoral happened between them. She thinks this is her chance to take a lead. Noyet is studying when she comes to him and asks him if he is free today. However, Nagisa informs him he was sick, and he was not telling them, so she noticed it and called his workplace to give him a day off. Therefore, Saki asks her about what happened between them last night. Nagisa tells her she was taking care of him and his health is more important for her. Seki becomes impressed with her caring nature. At night, Seki comes to his room and shows him magazines and tells him that she knows he is frustrated and is holding himself back, so she wants to provide an outlet for his desires. Surprisingly, she picks up these magazines from parks and under bridges to help him. He gets impressed by her efforts, so he tells her he will read them because of her. However, he realizes if he reads these magazines, then he will develop a habit of lusting for other women. Therefore, she realizes he is saying the right thing, but she also wants to help him. In the end, he tells her he wants to take her pictures, hence she agrees with him. Funnily, he takes her pictures and pastes them on the magazine's pictures. He is dumber than Mr. Bean. Seems like she doesn't like this as she punches him really hard. He should start wearing a helmet from now on. Meanwhile, he thinks it's difficult to understand girls. He is not wrong though. Saki and Shino seem to be looking at a beach magazine. Apparently they want to go there. Meanwhile, Noea is studying and as usual, Nagisa is cooking. Shino asks Saki if she has a swimsuit, but it looks like Saki doesn't have a swimsuit. However, Rika comes as she announces she has done laundry. While she goes to hang her clothes for drying, she hangs her bra there like it's a trophy. Meanwhile, it seems Shino and Saki are judging her choice. They both go there and state why she displays this indecent thing for people to see. Apparently, they think all her nutrients probably went to the indecent place, not her brain. However, they assume she is doing this to get Noya's attention. Well, she won't get this low for him. He is not that special. Meanwhile, Nagisa and Noya also joined them. Hence, he asks them about what's going on here. It appears that Saki asks his opinion about the situation. Therefore, when he sees what she is asking about, he becomes embarrassed, and then he starts thinking. He thinks all the time like he is some genius. Fun fact, he is not. After some thinking, he admits it's kind of exciting him. However, Rika looks shy after listening to this, but seems like Saki doesn't like his answer. Apparently, she pulls out the bra and warns him to not get excited. She is like a jealous dragon guarding her treasure. Funnily, Rika is holding her bra like it's her treasure. Meanwhile, Saki is scolding him for his reply, as she thinks this is why men are the worst. Even Nagisa and Shino look angry with him. However, he looks like a criminal justifying his crime. This guy has no brain. Apparently, he informs them he will be even more excited if he sees Saki's or Nagisa's bra. This guy sure knows how to say the worst thing. Therefore, both girls look stunned by his reply. Afterwards, he justifies that because they are his beloved girlfriends after all. He always gets away with his sweet talking. Both girls are looking at him like he is their Prince Charming. However, he ruined their moment by saying he wants to prove them wrong by seeing their bras. Saki gets embarrassed by this. Furthermore, he asks Rika if she has a smartwatch. She gives him her watch. Apparently, he wears the watch and tells them to test him whenever he sees the bra. They can check the watch to know how excited he gets. Hence, Saki scolds him for assuming that he will see their bras, but he tells her he doesn't know any other way. He is making excuses, that's all. Suddenly, Rika interrupts them and shows him her bra and says that they can start with her. The atmosphere around them becomes intense. It's like they are watching the World Cup and waiting for the results. Noe looks in deep thought while watching the bra, and apparently, his heart rate becomes 166. He looks guilty about his reaction, whereas Saki becomes angry with him and Shino looks stunned by it. However, Saki angrily holds him by his shirt, but then he tries to persuade her by saying that his heart rate will be higher for the two of them. Surprisingly, Nagisa comes to him and shyly shows him her bra. Meanwhile, Saki looks shocked seeing her cutest bra. Looks like she has taken her most treasured article to win this. Noe becomes shocked as he asks her if this is her lucky article, and is she fine with showing him something so important. Hence, she becomes shy and tells him she wants to show him. Seems like he likes her bra too much as his heart rate becomes 220. Nagisa looks relieved by his reaction. Meanwhile, Saki becomes shocked and Rika looks angry. Shino assumes that he must really love Nagisa that much. However, he looks relieved to prove her love for Nagisa. It appears that now is Saki's turn. Apparently, she tells him even if she beats Rika, she still doesn't want to lose to Nagisa. He then informs her he loves them both, so logically speaking, it should get the same number. Saki still looks angry because it seems her favorite bra is in the laundry right now. Surprisingly, she then uses the current bra she is wearing to prove it. Noe doesn't expect this as he gets stunned by it. Seemingly, he looks to observe all the facts about bra, and in the end, the result comes, and it seems like his love for both girls are the same since the result of his heartbeats is 222. Saki looks happy with the result. Meanwhile, Shino is wondering what result would come for her. I have a gut feeling she is going to win this. However, Rika starts opening her shirt button as she also wants to show him like that, but Shino tries to stop her, and in that process, her foot slips and she lands on the top of Noea. And funnily, her bra gets exposed. Guess where his face is? Surprisingly, yes, Noea comes face to face with her melons. He looks very shocked, but Shino quickly stands up from him. And guess what? I was right. His heart rate starts skyrocketing, but suddenly he punches himself hard to stop his heart rate. For Seki's happiness, it stops at 219. He has done cheating. Apparently, Rika goes to give Shino sympathy. Shino looks embarrassed by the whole situation. It seems she wonders if maybe she has a chance with him. After a while, Noea was studying. Saki comes to him and says she wants to go to the beach. At that moment, everyone comes there. She tells him going to the beach in summer is a must and he should stop studying. However, he starts thinking and wonders if studying is important, but spending time with his girls is also important. At the end, he makes the decision to go to the beach to make the memories with them. They all become happy. There he asks them, is there a specific beach they'd want to go to? Apparently, Saki wants to go to Hawaii, but Noea apologizes to her and informs her he doesn't have enough money for Hawaii. However, they started to check prices for beaches in their country. Then they finally decided to go to Okinawa with all of his part-time job money. I wonder how much he earns at his job. Seemingly, they are excited to go to the beach. After a while, Saki comes to him and states she has something serious to say about their Okinawa trip. Hence, she says their trip of 2 days and 1 night to Okinawa with everyone is not bad, but apparently, she thinks it's not enough. She wants to stay 3 days and 2 nights there. He becomes shocked as he can't afford this. However, she knows their budget is at the limit, so she shows him the plan she made. Apparently, she thinks they won't get enough time for playing at all. She states she wants to fully enjoy Okinawa for a full day. He finally understands her secret strategy, so he goes to borrow money from Rika, but unexpectedly, Shino smacks him with the magazine. As she tells him, does he seriously want to borrow money from her? Hence, Saki asks her if she wants to stop them. However, she scolds her and says she should stop saying stupid things. But she says it's her first time in Okinawa, so she wants to spend good time there. She is behaving like a child. Surprisingly, Shino calls her dad and talks to him. Apparently, Shino has her own villa in Okinawa, so she got permission from her dad to use it for 2 nights. Seems like Saki couldn't believe she is rich, so she asked her. Meanwhile, Shino says her parents are rich. Her family is suspicious. They all looked impressed with her. However, he tells her he will return her favor and he will do anything for her. Then they start to make plans to enjoy themselves there. Whereas Nagisa wants to see the aquarium and Shino wants to relax at the beach, and apparently Saki wants to play there and eat lots of delicious food. Hence, she also wants to watch a romantic sunset with Noya and to have a barbecue there. She loves food more than him. However, Nagisa reminds her she should kiss him and not forget about the romance. Realizing this, she feels guilty about forgetting about him. She then announces with determination that she will kiss him during this trip. Meanwhile, Shino taunts her that she will again fail to kiss him like always. She becomes horrified by this, but she says we'll do it now. However, Shino tells her she shouldn't have to try too hard. At this, Saki asks her, doesn't she want her to kiss him? Shino looks like someone has caught her doing something wrong. Furthermore, she states that she will show her. She will kiss Noya in Okinawa. Rika chooses that moment to come. She is looking beautiful. Surprisingly, she hugs him and declares she will be the one who's going to kiss Noya. Apparently, Nagisa also announces she will also try hard for him, and she also clings to his other arm. However, seeing all this, Saki states even Shino will now go to him. She is not wrong though, but Shino refuses quickly. Looks like their time at the beach will be interesting. They all are acting like he is a trophy that they have to win. It seems it will be a battle for the kiss. Even after all the drama, Saki is more concerned about food. Fast forward to the shopping day. Apparently, together they go for swimsuit shopping. Hence, Saki asks him if he is excited about watching her in a swimsuit. However, he seems excited about it, so she starts to show him swimsuits. Meanwhile, Rika interrupts them and states that none of them will beat her in a swimsuit. She is so self-obsessed. Their hunting for their dream swimsuits starts. Noaya starts showing different articles to Saki. He even gives her a description about how it will look on her. Whereas Saki appreciates him and says he should select all her swimsuits for summer. Looks like it's Nagisa's turn now. She comes to him and tells him to select something for her as well. He should start working as a stylist from now on. Anyway, he shows the swimsuit to her and she takes it quickly from him because she likes Noya to choose a swimsuit for her. Meanwhile, Saki was looking at them and she thinks Nagisa is too easy to convince. Apparently, Rika also comes to him, but funnily he shows a school swimsuit. Rika becomes angry at him for choosing this. However, he informs her she should show less skin sometimes. Surprisingly, she agrees with his choice because she has heard that some men prefer this rather than ones that reveal more skin. So she thinks Noya is one of them. She should stop using her brain. Meanwhile, Shino comes with a cute swimsuit, as she announces she will take this. But apparently, Noya wants her to wear a sexy swimsuit, so he tells her to wear that. Shino looks shocked to know he has also chosen one for her. But surprisingly, Saki comes to her and shows a more revealing suit to her, as she thinks that one is better. Clearly, Saki tells her, the girl with small melons will look good with micro-made bikinis. She can insult and praise you in one sentence. However, Rika thinks Saki is stupid. She is not thinking wrong. Hence, Saki asks Shino which one she will choose. Therefore, Shino informs her that the bikini has not enough clothes. Apparently, Saki doesn't agree with her as she thinks it's sexy that way, but funnily, Shino slaps her hard for her stupidity. She just wants to help and in return, she gets a slap he. Looks like the drama has finished because everyone goes from there. Now the question is what Shino will choose. Shino seems to be in a difficult situation about what she should choose, whether she chooses the one she likes or the one Noya chooses for her. Hence, she doesn't want people to find out that she loves Noya. At the last, she chooses the one he has chosen, as she wants him to notice her. However, it looks like Rika has found her secret. Furthermore, Shino then bought the swimsuit, but she looks worried. Surprisingly, Rika comes to her side and says she's been observing her for a while, so she directly asks her if she loves Noya. Shino gets shocked and starts panicking about how she finds out. However, she starts to think about something so that she can trick her. She asks her why she came to this conclusion, if it's because she buys the swimsuit he has chosen. Therefore, Shino says to her, she is buying this because she likes the design. Her lies are so bad, they're actually funny. Apparently, Rika starts laughing at her for her desperate attempts. But it seems like Shino doesn't like her reaction, as she looks like she will kill her. However, Saki comes between them and asks Shino about what's going on here. Shino starts to panic and makes excuses to her to take Rika with her. Afterwards, when Shino and Rika get alone, she again tries to pursue Rika as she tells her she is thinking wrong. Apparently, Rika is not as stupid as she looks, because she informs her it's too obvious to her that she likes him, although Shino still denies her. But Rika questions her that when she slept with Noya, she was trying to seduce him, didn't she? Unintentionally, but still she has hit the target. Surprisingly, Shino falls into her trap as she asks her, how does she know? Meanwhile, Rika looks happy to trap her. Finally, Shino realizes she has tricked her,